Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Concord, North Carolina for a conference matchup on homecoming night here at Central Cabarrus. Mark Plemons, the voice of Cabarrus, here alongside of myself, James Mellick, and Mark. We may not have a matchup between two powerhouse schools here, but we have a great matchup on the field between the South Stanley Raiders and the Central Cabarrus Vikings tonight.
Yeah, this is a big game for both these teams. Get a conference win. Get a win if you're Central Cabarrus. The South Rowan team has got an opener against Union Academy, came away with a victory. They have not scored 3 times in a game since then. And Central Cabarrus had some moments, but they have never been able to put together a whole game so far. This is a chance for one of these teams to get on the board in conference play, and you got to feel like if you're a Central Cabarrus fan, this is your best opportunity for a win this season.
Yeah, I agree with you. We've been here multiple times. We saw them hang in there real tough against Piedmont, lost that game late, lost their starting quarterback as well, and then we saw them on Monday night. They had a really good first half until about the last 4 seconds left when they let a 60-some-yard touchdown score.
Yeah, I believe a 68-yard pass play with 10 seconds left in the half. It's a one-score game at that point, and then they come back and cut it back into that. But think about what happens if you get the field goal that was missed on a bad operation, where they're not able to get the kick. There's 3 points that you should have. You take that one touchdown off the board, you're looking at the very least an 8-3 game at halftime. Instead, you're down 16-0.
Yeah, and then they came right after the second half. In their first drive, they went down the field and scored. So you would have had the lead, and it would have been a little different conversation there in the locker room for head coach Zach Bevilacqua. I always struggle. I'll just
Bevilacqua.
Bevilacqua. There you go.
Yeah, and of course, South Rowan, they've had a tough stretch of games against West Rowan and teams of that ilk. And
Northwest?
Northwest Cabarrus. Northwest is probably second-best team in the conference, maybe to J.M. Robinson. I would almost argue that West Rowan is kind of competing for that third or second spot in the league. So they've already played those two teams, 2 of the top 3 teams in the league.
Yeah, they still have Robinson left, as you mentioned. So we'll wait and see what they do against Robinson. Robinson, actually, since we're speaking about them in action tonight, some of our crew is there to cover that one. Perry there.
Yep, Perry Gabriel there. Going to call the action on the NFHS Network.
Yep, you have Robinson at home against East Rowan in that matchup. We also have a crew covering the Carson and Concord game as well. We have John Von Cannon and Chris Hudson over there at that game. So we have a couple of games covering tonight on the Federation here. We are live on the Federation and on our YouTube channel here, the 485 crew. There are quite a few big games going on around the state today, Mark.
Absolutely. And we're getting ready for coin toss here as well on this one. Go ahead and take us through those, and then we'll get the captains for you.
I mean, I'm just looking at a few of the big games we have going on around the state. You have Cupperson, who's 4-1 versus Sun Valley. That's a great conference matchup. Crest, South Point, a battle of unbeatens there. Then you go and you look at Hopewell and West Charlotte. On paper, that doesn't look too good, but when you look at the head coaches, that one looks great, as Hopewell seems to have turned around under Coach Gentry. Now 3-2 this year, heading into a 3-1 West Charlotte.
Yeah, so that's an interesting game there for sure.
Then you go up towards the Piedmont area. You have Reagan and Davie, 2 powerhouses that way. You got West Versailles, who was perfect in non-conference play, had a little bit of trouble once they've hit conference in action against Glenn, another powerhouse. And then a battle of unbeatens up in that area. East Wilkes and Mount Airy. And we all know Mount Airy, powerhouse at football.
Yeah.
So a lot of good football on the state here today. This one here we're covering another doozy is the coin toss going on out there at the 50-yard line while they do the coin toss. We'll tell you the jerseys real quick.
We got number 8 Connor Richards. He's a linebacker for South Rowan. Also number 17 Bryson Freeze, one of the running backs, and number 83 for the Raiders, Ben Davies. There's your captains for South Rowan. As we look at the Central Cabarrus captains today, Captain KJ McCorkle, also one of those guys out there. Paul Neal, big number 77 is Kevin Gilliard, and number 2, Devontae James. So getting ready for the kickoff. And
coin toss was won by South Stanley. South Stanley decided.
South Rowan.
Or South Rowan. Yeah, I don't know why I'm calling them Stanley.
We were talking about Mount Pleasant playing at South Stanley earlier. I guess we kind of set that one up.
Yes, we did. South Rowan won the toss, decided to defer, which left Central the choice to receive first half kickoff, which gives South Rowan kickoff to start the second half here at Central Cabarrus. Real quick jersey check. Central tonight wearing the gold tops, green numbers, white bottoms with the green helmet as they come out from our left here in the broadcast booth in front of the home crowd, trying to get that first win of the season to our right. The South Rowan Raiders wearing white tops, white bottoms, red numbers with red helmets as they head out onto the field trying to get their second win of the season and their first one in conference. And, Mark, I was telling you here, I was looking through Max Prep a little bit. These schools not separated by much according to Max Preps. When you look at Max Preps in the 3A where they're both playing football, I think there might be 4 schools separating these two.
Central Cabarrus has some athletes, and I think their athleticism will show up in this game. Now, whether or not they can put together a whole game, a whole quarter, and take advantage of that. Last year, Central Cabarrus goes up, and they have a pretty good lead late, lose it in the second half, almost came back and won, and then fell late. But Central Cabarrus will get the ball to start the half. And, we talked about Monday night when we were here that Central Cabarrus kick return game is one of their strengths so far this season. We'll see if that turns out to be the case here as they get the ball to start here.
Set to receive is Chinwah and James. Chinwah left, James right. They will be kicking off from right to left. South Rowan kicking off to Central Cabarrus here. We'll wait and see who receives it. 12 minutes on the clock, and we are underway here at Central Cabarrus. The two run into each other, and Chinwah comes away with it in the middle. He comes near side across the 30, the numbers all the way up to the 39 before being brought down, and a good return there from Chinwah to get this offense out on the field. While we have a second, we want to let you know that tonight's broadcast is brought in part by BenMinot.com, your hometown drugstore, Cannon Pharmacy, Wilkinson Funeral Home, the Carolina Pizza Hut, the Cabarrus County's newspaper, IndependentTribune.com, the Cabarrus County Fair, Carolina Renaissance Festival, and the Southern Christmas Show. As the offense lines up for the first time here for the Vikings, they'll line up 2 receivers to the left and a wing back to the right. They move Chinwah in motion. He now heads back left in motion. They decide to hand it off to James, who stays on his feet after being hit. He tries to fight forward, gets back to the line of he'll lose a yard. Push back to the 38.
Yeah, he was hit immediately upon grabbing the football, spun out of the tackle, but there was more pursuit coming from the Raiders, and they knock him down for a loss of 1 back at the 38-yard line. So they're jumping on James right away. You wonder, put that in the belly, pull it out, and see if you can send that ball elsewhere. Maybe get some deception there. We'll see.
Put 2 receivers near side, short side of the field, shift the man in motion from left to right. They'll empty the left side of the field, make the man who came from right the wing back. They give it back to James, who works left, and he finds a seam and gets across the 45 before being brought down to the 47.
Good job up over there on the left side of the Central Cabarrus line, just blocking, giving James some running room. Lead blocker on that particular play was Daniel Clay. Clay came in motion back and then able to lead out that particular play.
Like you said, Clay made a huge block there, and that's what made that hole for James. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 here for the Vikings as they put 2 to the right here, have double backs in the backfield. Now shift James out into the flat. Quarterback Lucas Rogers keeps it and hit immediately back in the backfield at the 44, so he'll lose a couple there, Mark.
Yeah, and Kosick will come out and punt it away. Not what you want to have with good field position, but it's going to give the ball up 3 and out.
So Cossack comes out here to punt the ball away after the drive stalls at their own 44-yard line. Back deep to receive for South Rowan is Jaden Moore, the senior wide receiver, leading receiver for the Raiders. As Cossack gets the low snap and gets it away. A decent little punt here that's going to bounce near the 30 and take a bounce for Central out of bounds, and it'll be spotted. The official spots it at the 28.
That could have been better if he'd stayed in bounds a little longer, because it really went a long way, but it did not go a long way inbound.
As the offense for the first time for the Raiders trots out there, they're led by their senior quarterback of Brooks Overcash. Overcash will come out with an empty backfield here to start this drive, it looks like. He's going to go under center.
Oh, yeah, it's so unusual for us to see that.
Yeah, I thought he was lined up.
Yeah, you thought that was it.
So he gets the ball, hands it off to his back, who goes up the middle. He's still fighting forward, and he'll pick up 4 there. Good run there from the running back. It looked like 21 of Arthur with the ball carry.
So good positive play on first down for South Rowan.
So Rowan now, after the pickup of 4 on first down, will line up.
Looks like Bryson Freeze back there is the running back.
So they'll put 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Overcash under center. He tosses it to the man in motion, and he swarmed up in the backfield and brought down as he got that one over to Moore.
Yeah, Jaden Moore, they came through on the jet, and when they handed it to him, there was a Central player standing right there. Plenty of pursuit. They didn't let him get away, and that's a big loss. Back to the 26. So that's going to bring up
a loss of 6 there.
Third down and what? 13 yards to go. 12, 13?
12, 13. So at least a loss of 6 there on that play, as they were able to get positive yards on first down and lose it here. Now you're way behind the sticks, facing a 3rd and 12.
Yeah, you got to get out to the 38-yard line.
And they'll put trips right here. Put the quarterback in the gun. Put Freeze to his left, and they'll shift the wing back from right to left and now put him near side as the only receiver. Pressure gets to the quarterback of Overcash, and he goes down in the backfield inside the 15.
Infinite Morrow. We called Infinite's name a couple times on Monday night, and he looked like he almost came unblocked through there.
Yeah, Infinite Morrow, one of the names we called a lot so far this year while we've been at a Central Cabarrus game, making his presence felt early in this game as he gets back there and makes a huge sack to pin them inside their own 15, and the punter is going to have his heels standing on his own goal line to punt this one away. I couldn't tell if that's James or Chinwall back there to receive it. We'll tell you after.
He's standing on the South Rowan side of the 50, so that's a...
They get it away. It's a high punt. They're going to let it bounce. It's going to take a bounce for South Rowan and keep rolling and roll inside the 45 all the way down to the 43. And they're going to take over pretty much about where they kicked the ball away, Mark. They kicked it away at their own 44, and they're going to take over at their own 40, 42 and a half.
That could have been a lot better. Here's my thinking on this. Sometimes you need to call fair catch, come up, catch the ball, and take the ball at the 40-yard line. Easily could have done it.
Yeah.
But I think just afraid to catch the ball.
I agree with you. They could have kept
lost
about 15 yards.
At least 15 yards on the roll.
As they line up 2 receivers left, they put Chinwall in the slot top side. And there's the flag, and able to get him on the hard count is Lucas Rogers as he gets him to jump.
Yeah, just got a little too anxious. And
is that number 12 that I saw there? I don't have a 12 on my sheet.
I think it's 54.
54?
Yeah, we won't call his name. He's embarrassed enough.
Yeah, it's never good when you jump off sides and make it a 1st and 5 as the team makes it an easy chain here. They're almost at midfield. There's a snap. They give it to James. James goes up the middle, finds a hole, makes a man miss. Now goes left, work towards the left hash, and gets it inside the 45 before being brought down in a huge run from James.
He was one step away from 6 there. That last man got him to the ground.
Yeah, he came right, and once he started working back left, he was heading that way.
Well, those guys up front opened a gap there.
He gets the ball all the way down to the 33 of South Rowan, so a huge pickup as they were at their own 47. It's enough to move the chains and make it a first down here. 6:40 left here, first quarter. And the Vikings working left to right, come out with two receivers right, move the man in motion on the left side. Comes to the center, now goes all the way to the right, and they put trips right. Rogers set to throw, sets his feet, throws it in the middle of the field. It's going to be caught, makes the man miss. Still on his feet, rumbling inside the 10 before being brought down, and a nice catch there.
That's Daniel Clay. So Clay, we saw him with a big block in the first drive there. We see catching that ball, just coming down the seam.
And it's been a while since we called Daniel Clay's name. Daniel Clay had a huge game against Piedmont there, Mark. It's been a while since we've called his name. He's been pretty quiet the last few weeks. But right there, he makes a big play to get his team all the way down inside the Pizza Hut red zone down to the 7-yard line. So a first down and goal, two receivers to the right. They hand it off to the back of James, and he walks it in there for the first touchdown of the game as Central Cabarrus strikes first.
7-yard run and set up a couple of nice plays. A run by James and a reception by Clay. So that's good offense for Central Cabarrus and on the board first.
As Central Cabarrus, like you said, just moved the ball how they wanted to there. A little bit of pass, a little bit of run, and they strike first to take the lead with 5:52 left here as we await the extra point. They line up as look like they're going to go for it. They lined up like that quite a few times, and now they shift into the extra point as Cossack sets up to kick this one. There's the snap, the place, the kick. It's up, and it is no good.
Just missed to the left.
That keeps the score 6-0 here as Central strikes first. And if you're Central Cabarrus, that's exactly what you wanted to do. You wanted to strike on your first drive, but getting them to turn the ball over, get the ball in decent field position, and then taking 3 plays to go down there and score, that's big.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't mention the Pizza Hut red zone.
They stopped. They blew right through it.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime, it's a great time for pizza. Order from pizzahut.com, one of our sponsors today, and, of course, the Carolina Pizza Huts.
They must have used the mobile app and went through the drive-thru to pick it up.
Yeah, they must have. That's what I do. You got that Pizza Hut rewards, too. You can get some free pizza or wings and things like that.
They made a quick stop at the 7, one play, boom, in the end zone.
6-0.
Central kicking off from left to right here. 3 people back deep to receive. The man in the middle is Moore. See where they kick this one to. It's a short kick.
A little directional kick.
We fielded around the 30. He'll come near side across the numbers and brought down right around the 40. Is number 31.
Yeah, Owen Smith, a sophomore linebacker.
Be marked right at the 41-yard line. And like you said, it was a directional kick, short. They didn't go deep towards Moore.
I think you would like to kick it just a little bit deeper than that, but in that same direction. But
I agree.
Good field position though for the Raiders.
And that's where Overcash and the offense head back out there for their second drive. Freeze in the backfield as the running back. They come out in a power I formation and a receiver each direction here. Give the ball off to Freeze, works right, makes a man miss, still on his feet midfield and brought down just across the 45 at the 46.
Tristan Clapp could not get him to the ground, slowed him down and able to be knocked down. Finally, Kendall Bell with the tackle.
And again, first down, they take the ball and they run it. They got 6 last time. This time they get 5. But remember, second down, they had that big loss that put them behind the chains on a third down. See if they can keep the drive going here, the Raiders.
If you're the Raiders, you probably want to hang on to the ball. You want to slow the game down. You don't want it to be a high-scoring game.
Gives it off to Freeze again, and he'll get a couple. They might get 1 to the 47.
And again, I think Clapp again with contact.
So they'll give him 1 there, make it a third down and 4.
if you stay positive for South Rowan on this one, get a couple of yards, then you have decision time. Do you want to try to go, or do you want to punt it away?
And something I see different here, I'm going to bring up to you here, Mark. I'm going to tell you that I just saw on that last sequence when they came in to call that play that I see different between these two teams already. They line up a receiver each direction. The power again on this 3rd down and 4. They give it to Freeze. He goes up the middle, right at the line, but he's short.
He's a yard short. Now you have decision time.
Yeah, tough one.
You feel like you ought to go for it here.
That's how I feel about it.
But if you've got a good kicker, change the field position by pinning Central Cabarrus down. Looks like they're going to go for it.
And it does. And what I was going to say there, Mark, the noticeable difference I've seen between these two schools already is South Rowan is giving their play calls to their wide receiver there of Caden Wood to bring the call in.
So Rogers for Central Cabarrus runs to the sideline every time.
Exactly. So you have a wide receiver for one and the other for the other. And they hand this one off the middle. And
he got it.
Boy, was it close.
Tristan Clapp hit him low, but he went right over the top of him.
One official saying he got it, one saying he's short. Let's see what the official mark is. They said he's short.
Oh, wow. They got a really bad spot on that one.
They say the far official came in showing right at the line to gain. The near side official to us came in and said he was short by a yard, and that's where the ball lies.
Unless his knee got down, I thought he had the first down easily. Central may have gotten a break right there.
They may have got a break, as you see South Rowan pointing, saying, hold on, that was a first down. They don't get the calls. He may have got about 6 inches there. And it looked like enough for a first down.
Central Cabarrus has started on their own 38, their own 42, and now starting at midfield.
Great field position so far. It's been a field position battle, and they've got it with 3:37 here, working from left to right. They had a bunch formation to the right. Now they shift out of all of that and put 2 receivers right, wing back left.
A little trickeration.
Give the ball off to Clapp. Clapp works left, and he'll pick up a couple. Pick up 1, get it to the 49.
Clapp's really active here in the early going. Made several contacts on defense and now running the ball.
See James running back out there, DeMonte James. As Rogers gets the call and walks back into the huddle. No play clocks here at Central Cabarrus operating tonight, so we'll have to pay attention to the back judge there, Mark.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. Most of the places we go now don't have the clocks.
2-by-2 set here, 2 left, 2 right. Now they put James actually moves back into the backfield, set to block. Rogers set to throw, and he overthrows, and it should have been picked off. But it goes in and out of the hands of Moore.
Threw it late and threw it up for grabs. Yeah, that's not you'd be better off to throw that one out of bounds.
Yeah, I agree with you there as he was trying to get that one over towards Ogilby Wiggins. Ogilby Wiggins was over there, and so was Daniel Clay. Neither one of them able to make a play, but it almost came down in the wrong hands there of Jaden Moore. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 here with the ball at the South Rowan 48. They put 2 running backs in the backfield here and a receiver each side. They give the ball off to the ball carrier there who works towards the right, and he's going to be brought down.
That's a violent collision.
Is Ogilby Wiggins.
Big 55. Ben Velasquez, the defensive lineman, just cut him down right at the 44. So it's 4th down.
That's actually Clapp with the carry. My apologies. He's got his jersey rolled up underneath of him. Can't tell if it's a 9 or a 0.
Yeah, unless you see it in the back, you can't. It's hard to see
because he's got it rolled up, and you can't hardly tell. So they'll line up and put 2 receivers, 1 receiver each direction, and put Clapp as the wing back to the right. A 4th down and 4 here. Now they shift Clapp from right wing back into the slot left side here. There is the snap. They give it to James. James up the middle. He gets the first down, slips and falls inside the 35, down at the 34.
Central Cabarrus offensive line, the surge on that running play, the line of scrimmage, the 44? They pushed the Raiders at least to the 41-yard line before there was any contact. And, again, everybody held up, and James with a good run.
That puts the clock here in the first quarter under a minute, as this might be the final play of the first quarter. As they'll line up and put 2 receivers left. Now they'll check up. thought about it. They still keep 2 receivers left. They keep Chinwall at slot, top side. They have Clay down here, man on an island by himself, near side. Give the ball off to James. James finds a seam near side, working down the right hash. Cuts back out across the numbers. He's at the 10, grab from behind, fighting forward, and brought down inside the 5. Another huge run from James.
Brian Velasquez, the defensive lineman, ran that one down from behind to knock it down, save the touchdown.
And we have a Raider down as the clock stops at 27.3. Can't see a number on the Raider that's down, but he appears to be in a lot of pain there, Mark.
I believe it's the man who made the tackle, Velasquez. His helmet popped off, too.
Looks like a 55.
55, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's Brian Velasquez. The junior.
So 27 seconds left. Another big run for James.
James having a game so far.
And they got those wideouts wide to each side, pulling those corners. They can't come up for run support in those middle. And then it looked like they were trying to keep the safeties back over the top. They're respecting the speed on the outside.
As Velasquez is able to get up and walk off the field under his own power. And like you said, Mark, they put the receivers out far. All the receivers are out across the numbers on the outside of them or on them. Even the slot receiver who was top left there of
that's
Chinwall.
That's Central saying our guys up front are better than your guys up front.
And that's exactly.
Now here you are at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal.
I mean, Chinwall was in the slot there on that last one, and he was lined up on the numbers, and the receiver to his outside was almost standing out of bounds, it seemed like.
You don't want to do anything cute. Just power this one up in there and take what you can get. But instead, they're going to throw it outside.
To Chinwall. Chinwall makes the play after the PI, and he comes down with it.
Well, he's going to call that one back. That's offensive pass interference, I believe.
So see who the call is here. That looked like both of them a little pushing and shoving. I think they might get Chinwall on it. Let's see who they get for this one.
It looked like Chinwall made the pass interference motion against the defender.
I agree with you there that he pushed off a little bit.
I know what I would call.
See what they call here. They're going to say it's good.
Touchdown.
Pass interference, they're going to say was on the defense, I guess. I'm going to say he was grabbed and only pushed off to get off of the PI.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Pass interference, defense, offset. So no touchdown.
So they take it away. So offsetting penalties there.
Pass interference on defense and ineligible receiver downfield.
And that's a tough break.
That looked like offensive pass interference to me.
So Coach Zach Belawakwa over there getting a little explanation from the near.
I don't know how you got anybody downfield far enough to call that.
I don't either.
And as quick as that play went.
There were only 4 yards in the window, 3 or 4, and he couldn't have been much more than 3.
I don't know what the rule is on that, but it would be hard to get downfield that quick as that play was.
Well, they line up the exact same way. Rogers with an empty backfield. Chinwall far left here. 3rd down and 1 goes back to Chinwall. Chinwall can't hold on to that one. Tried to run that in route, Mark. He had inside leverage, just not the best throw from Rogers there.
Your offensive line is superior. Line up and knock them off the ball. I mean, that's what I would do. I'm no football coach, though. But I'd line it up and try to knock them off the ball.
We've seen them be able to run the ball so far. Get down here on the goal line, they've decided not to so far. See what they decide to do on this one. And it looks like they empty the backfield yet again. They put 2 power wingbacks behind the tackles there. Now they shift Chinwall in motion. They keep it with Rogers. Rogers, nothing happening, and he's brought down back to 5. And that's going to be a turnover on.
No, that's just third down. That's just third down. Yeah,
yep.
That's just third down. Well, the late Woody Hayes used to say, when you throw the forward pass, there's 4 things that can happen, and 3 of them are bad.
No, I think that was 4th down there, Mark.
Is it?
I think it was.
The box over there said 2.
The box said 2. The board said 3, but the offense trotting out there.
Oh, wait.
So, yeah, turnover on downs.
Oh, a fumble they recovered.
That was?
They recovered a fumble, okay.
Okay. I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either.
I didn't see the ball pop out. It hit the motion guy? They snapped it to the motion guy. That's why we didn't see it, Mark. I thought
we
Lucas
were
had
watching the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't see the football pop out, so we apologize folks.
Yeah, that's the end of the first quarter, and we need to get our eyesights checked.
Yeah, I think we're both a little need to go find the next vision doctors. Because I never saw it.
I was up here trying to coach and can't not watching the game.
Yeah, I didn't see that they snapped it to the man in motion, which was Chinwa. I didn't see the football pop out. But as we head to the end of the first quarter, the score 6-0. The Vikings on top of the Raiders here at Central Cabarrus. Reminder, it is homecoming night here at Central Cabarrus. If you're in the area and want to stop by and see all the homecoming festivities, you still have time. We still have 12 minutes left here in the second quarter, and we're going to step away here for a break, and we'll be right back.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Huzzah! Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Too jolly good.
You'll love the Renaissance Festival.
There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, the Living Mermaids, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Presented by Pepsi. Sponsored by Hedis Tita. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Renaissance Festival, here I come.
As we are back here at Central Cabarrus, we flip into the field. The Raiders now working from left to right. A second down here and 5 with the ball at the 7. They run it here up the middle on a good piece of running there. Gets the ball out across the 21 all the way up to the 22. And a good run there from Freeze.
That's a big opportunity. Went by the board for Central Cabarrus.
Yes, it was. Down at the goal line, can't punch it in as one pops out. And as me and Mark were discussing, we need to go get our vision checked.
Yeah,
one of us saw it.
The ball went directly to the motion man,
which I believe was Chinwa, and it popped out.
Yeah, we just saw the quarterback running out like he had the ball. And
Overcash set to throw it, rolls left on the hash, and that one's going to be, it should have been picked off as that was in and out of the hands of Ash Morrow.
Yeah, Morrow had that right in his hands.
Had great coverage there as Overcash didn't put enough air under that one, and Morrow.
Let's go to our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. With 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, J.M. Robinson 35, East Rowan nothing.
Hold on, you said what quarter?
4 minutes left in the first.
Oh, my. Yeah. I didn't think it would be quite that bad.
I knew it'd be bad. I didn't think it would be that bad either.
As there is the snap to Overcash. Cash gives it to Freeze, and Freeze stacked right up at the line of scrimmage. And
I tell you what, Tristan Clapp came to play today.
He did come to play today.
Another tackle for him.
Stops him right at the line of scrimmage. And I got some Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard updates here for you, Mark.
Okay.
South Meck and Paladase, 7-0 South Meck. West Charlotte, Hopewell. West Charlotte leads that one 7-0. And Asheville, AC Reynolds, Asheville leads 21-7. And so
I wonder
far,
how they're playing.
I don't know. And what about Boone? Did you see? Now, that makes me wonder if App State's going to play football because they said they're not going to resume classes in Boone for a while.
Yeah, they're playing at Marshall tomorrow.
So they are playing.
They're playing at Marshall.
Because I know they said classes are not going to resume for a while.
Yeah, they're playing at Marshall tomorrow.
3rd and 10 here. They set to throw over Cash. He starts to roll out left, gets to the left hash, pulls it down. Plenty of room to get the first down. He gets it, starts trotting towards the sideline, and gets out of bounds short of the 40 at the 38-yard line. And he had nothing but green
flag
grass
on the
there.
play. Let's see what this is. It's late.
I mean, it's
a dead ball, too, so it's going to.
When he took off out of the box there, Mark, he had plenty of room to go get the first down, and he went and got it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Defense.
Central Cabarrus, yeah.
So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul at the 38.
Must have been something said because the players were apart. And the official was standing in between, and they're going to come over and talk to Coach Bevilacqua.
That's going to move the ball
tell
all
him
the
what
way
happened.
Inside of Central Cabarrus territory, all the way up to the Central 46.
Overcash
47.
did a good job of keeping the pass alive, at least in the minds of the defender. And once he got to the once he got to the sticks, everybody had run out of the play, and so he just runs to the end of the sticks and gets the first down.
Then draws the penalty, moves the ball across midfield into Central Cabarrus territory at the 47-yard line. And the best field position so far for the Raiders is they get across midfield here, and they put 2 receivers right, have Freeze in the backfield. Now shift Moore in motion from right to left. Fake the handoff to him. Overcash set to throw. Throws it into the flat. Catch made. Working down the near sideline. Still running and shoved out of bounds. And a great play there from Besco.
Yeah, Gavin Besco just a little tight end. He just kind of drags off the line. The quarterback has a play fake, rolls out. He's got the option probably to either dump it off or take off and run. And good job.
Yeah, it was a beautiful design play, and he sold the block just enough to be able to get out into the flat there, Mark, and get a huge pickup and get him all the way down to the 22-yard line here.
South Rowan got a little momentum now after getting the fumble down on the goal line, and first down run, a 15-yard penalty, and a big pass play.
2 receivers left as they hand this one off to Freeze up the middle, and he'll get up to the 20, and they'll make a stop inside the Pizza Hut red zone.
PizzaHut.com. You can order delivery or go by the drive-thru or go into the dining room.
I'll tell you what, next weekend on Saturday, I am getting some Pizza Hut. Have you seen the schedule for next week's Saturday football?
I have not.
It is slam-packed. I'll tell you who they got coming up next week on Saturday. You'll have to hear some of these games. It is slammed-packed football in your mouth next Saturday, folks. But before that, they got to come hang out with us on Friday night again next week.
Absolutely.
So a 2nd down and 8 here with the ball at the 20-yard line of Central off the right hash. Working left to right. They hand the ball off and go left, and a huge hole there for Richards as he runs left. Gets it all the way down to the 9.
Well, nobody expected Richards down there, did they?
No, they did not, and he gets it all the way down to the 9-yard line.
It's kind of a lumbering run, but when there's nobody there, you get downfield pretty quick.
Clock continues to run. 8:20 left here, first half. And so far, South Rowan controlled the second half as they burn almost 4 minutes off this clock here on this drive, Mark. Power I formation. They give the handoff to Freeze. Freeze works right, and he fights down to the 6 before being brought down with 8 minutes left here, first half.
This is exactly playing into South Rowan's hand. They want to, let the clock roll a little bit, keep possession, keep Central off the field. They play really traditional offense, I formation, couple of tight ends. They'll put a wide out here and there.
2nd down and goal here with the ball spotted at the 6. Again, power I formation. They put a receiver far right of Wood. They line up. They give to Freeze. Freeze works right, gets to the edge, turns the corner, jumps, and he's in there diving for the touchdown.
So Freeze with the touchdown.
7:23 left here, first half. And we're an extra point away from South Rowan getting their first lead of the game as they went down early there, Mark. It only took 2 drives for Central to score. And now South Rowan able to answer.
Looks like, is that Tristan Littlejohn with the kick?
Number 6, yes, that is Tristan Littlejohn.
So Littlejohn with the kick, and that's a 7-6 lead.
We call a lot, I don't want to say a lot, but we've covered a lot of players with the last name Littlejohn.
Yeah.
It's a pretty common name here, it seems like, in Cabarrus County.
Yeah, South Rowan. That drive comes all the way off the goal line. Where did that start?
That started around about the 10-yard line. No, I think
let's call it about the 5. So I'm going to say plus or minus a 95-yard drive there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
One big penalty against Central Cabarrus, a 15-yarder that tacked on at the end of about a 12-yard run by the quarterback.
Yeah, that was a big drive for them there. And real quick before we kick this one off, Mark, here is the schedule I was telling you about for next Saturday. You ready to hear this?
Sure.
You have number 3 Ohio State and number 6 Oregon. You have number 7 Penn State, number 11 USC. You have number 2 Texas, number 19 Oklahoma. Then you have number 12 Ole Miss and number 13 LSU. all next weekend.
A lot of numbers there.
A lot of numbers. Next week is going to be packed as this one's kicked off and going to be fielded by James in the center of the field and near the 10. He works it far side across the numbers, finds it seam, still fighting forward, and brought down right around the 35-yard line. And another big return from Central Cabarrus Special Teams.
Getting up a good head of steam, getting up there, and he really puts some pressure on the defense. You got to make a sure tackle. If you don't get him to the ground, he's going to be down the field quick.
The official spot, the 36. And that is exactly what Central wanted.
See what the offense has to bring now. Got a player running on late for Central.
Big number 75 there jogging on late is going to be Kendrick. That is Kelton Taylor jogging on late.
And Taylor got the play from his left tackle, who Mara just whispered it in his helmet.
Working right to left. They hand this one off to James, who goes right across the number, still on his feet over midfield, inside the 40. Still running with runners in front of him at the 20 and brought down inside the Pizza Hut red zone around the 17-yard line and only took one play, Mark.
No, he just running hard off the right side. That wouldn't be a bad play on the goal line.
It would not be, as they mark it officially at the 16. It went from their own 36 down to the South Rowan 16. A huge run there from James.
Yeah, one of the guys over there leading the way on that block, Brandon Bevilacqua, the coach's son, and also on that side of the football looks like, I believe, is Chris Rosales. I believe that's who I see over there.
Central Cabarrus.
I check it. Rosales is over on the other side.
Central Cabarrus making a stop inside the Pizza Hut red zone before halftime. Maybe they have some waiting for him in the locker room if they call it in now. There's a snap. They give it off to the running back there of Clapp, who works near side, and he's going to get
a couple
to
yards.
14.
If you stay positive, get your blocks, and push it down the field.
Actually, Ogilvy Wiggins with the carry. That's 9. The 9 and the 0 look very common on these two jerseys.
Yeah.
And they're both about the same height, too. So you can't really go off height.
Yeah, Rogers this time, they flashed the sign in. He didn't run to the sideline. Chinua split out one side and Gregory on the other side.
Wiggins in the backfield to the left of Rogers. They give it back to Wiggins. The ball's on the ground. Picked up by South Rowan at the 15, and they're going to get it out to the 19. There was a miscue there.
Second straight fumble for Central Cabarrus in the red zone.
As Rogers tried to hand it off to Ogilvy Wiggins, and it looked like he tried to pull it out late, and Wiggins wanted it, and that ball popped out. South Rowan right there to scoop it up with 5:36 left here, and they got the ball at their own 19-yard line. So the second turnover of the game here in the first half for the Vikings, and both of them in the red zone. That's costly.
It's very costly. That got the momentum. You'd rested back. It looked like you were going to go and take the lead, and all of a sudden you turn it over.
Overcash under center here. Drops down, gets it. Fakes.
Feed the fullback.
The pitch and fed the fullback, as you said there, Mark.
You just put it in the belly of the fullback once in a while. That's the old-fashioned, let's give it to him 3 or 4 times a game, and he's going to gash you.
Owen Smith.
And he's going to block the rest of the time.
Yes, he will, as Owen Smith, the one with the carry there, the sophomore linebacker / fullback.
On our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, got one more score coming in from J.M. Robinson. In the first quarter, J.M. Robinson 42, East Rowan nothing.
We're already at a mercy rule at the end of 1 there.
Yeah.
So a running clock at Robinson already as Overcash hands this one off to Freeze, and Freeze brought down in the backfield. A high tackle there up around the head area, but
the man who really made that play happen, number 62 for Central Cabarrus, Paul Neal. Neal had both arms wrapped around the knees and was spinning, and then up top, Morrow just put the pop on him. Third down.
Clock winds down to 4.5 here, so needing to get this drive going as it took them almost 5 minutes on that last drive, Mark, to go the length of the field. Only 4.5 now, so they need to turn it on if they want to do something here. Facing a third and 7.
We're moving a lot faster than that 42-0 game.
Yes, we are. As there is the snap, goes out into the flat to Moore, left side over the left hash. Moore running down the field across the 40. streaking towards midfield, and he's shoved out of bounds and brought down, and they'll mark him and Central Cabarrus territory all the way up at the 46. And a huge play now for the Raiders.
Wideouts did a good job blocking. They held up the Central defenders. Your receiver, I guess running back, he has to make one man miss and then get up the field, and that's what he did. You take those other defenders out of the play.
Moore, the leading receiver here for the Raiders as they come out here after the first down.
There he comes, shotgun.
In the gun formation, they give it off to the ball carrier, Freeze, who works near side, works towards the numbers, and he gets just outside of the numbers and brought down right there near the 30.
His own man, Caden Wood, put as big a hit on him as the defender did.
Defender who made
still
the
a
play.
still a big gain.
Was that 33 with the tackle there for?
I believe you're right.
I don't have a 33 on my sheet. It looks like a 33. It might be 23. Yeah, it's 33. Cameron Belville with the tackle. Beverly, sorry.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that's who it is there with the tackle.
They're going to go back to the eye.
So a first down and 10. Receiver each way. They give it back to the fullback again. Oh, no, he kept it in his hand. I thought he pitched it. And right there at the goal line, making the catch.
Where are they going to mark it? That's the question.
Right
1 yard line.
At the 1 as he goes back to Moore, and he had me all kinds of confused. The quarterback did of overcash as it looked like he tossed it. I thought they did. They piled the fullback right up the middle, and he went deep to Moore. That's the third time they ran that play mark, and they've ran it different every time.
And that was a jump ball. There's a little bit more want to on the white jerseyed receiver.
They've ran it with the fullback one time. They've handed it off to their back of Freeze, and that time they go deep to Moore, and they get brought down right at the 1 with 2.5 left here. And they're going to quarterback keeper it in there with overcash, and he's going to fight forward and in there for the touchdown with 2:22 left. Or 2:20 left. They stop the clock now.
82-yard drive.
And
2:20 left in the quarter.
The Raiders strike and put 14 unanswered up on the board. Well, 13 right now. It's not give them that extra point yet. They put 13 unanswered up on the board here. 2 scores so far here in the second quarter for South Rowan. There's the snap, the place, the kick gets up, and it is good. 14-6 the score, 2:20 left here before halftime. As the South Rowan Raiders on top of the Central Cabarrus Vikings here. I want to remind you real quick while we're here, it is homecoming night at Central Cabarrus High School. And during that, we will have our BenMinot.com halftime report, shop, click, and drive. BenMinot.com. We'll have updates from our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard and the games going on all around the state.
14 straight points now for South Rowan after Central Cabarrus has had the ball in the red zone on back-to-back possessions, only to cough it up.
And that is a tough one to swallow. When we talked about it last week, Mark, you were only down 1 score, could have been down 1 score heading to half. You let the big play happen, and then all of a sudden you're down 2 scores. Here you had the ball turn over twice and could have a big lead heading into half, and instead you might go into halftime down. So see what kind of motivation Coach B can do in the locker room here. Maybe they can go in and get one before halftime.
You still got time to get something going here.
Top spinning kick that's fielded at the 30, far side of the field. Going to try to make a man miss and fight forward and keep fighting forward and across the 40 down to the 42. Look like it's number 5. Going to be Bellin.
Moises Bellin did a good job catching the ball. You don't want to let that ball get past you the way it's squibbing. It could wind up laying on the ground at the 25 in a mad scramble. You catch it, you get up the field as much as you can, and so 42-yard line.
Great field position with 2:11 left, and I believe they still have all 3 timeouts left.
I don't recall a timeout being called.
I don't think they've called one yet. They'll line up 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, working from right to left. They move Chinua in motion, outside receiver into the slot, near side left. There is the snap to Rogers. Rogers steps up in a pocket, pressure from behind, gets grabbed, and he's brought down at the 40, so a loss of 2 there on first down as he's brought down. And a nice play in the backfield there by Vasquez, who makes the sack.
Been very active. You had three receivers in the pattern, Gregory, Chinua, and Clay. All 3 were covered So he had really no safe place to throw it. Might have been better off to try to take off and run.
Working off the left hash near side. Wide side of the field, 2 receivers set. Rogers set to throw, sets his feet, and that one's about 2 yards short of Chinwall, the intended target there. Stops the clock with 1:37 here.
Sometimes an incompletion's a good play. Get rid of it. Get one here.
I agree with you. I think that one was a good play by Lucas Rogers to just throw it into the dirt there in front of Chinwall.
You sell that up running, and there's two defensive players and one offensive player over there. It gets tipped up in the air, and the next thing you know, you got somebody running down the sideline.
And then you're not down just 1 score. You might be down 2. And it looked like the same picture you had last week. So a good choice there from Lucas Rogers. Is they'll still work off the left hash, working left to right. 2 receivers to the near side, and a timeout called here by Central Cabarrus.
Good timeout here to make sure that you know what you want to do.
It's a big third down here. You're facing a 3rd down and 12. You're down. You want to try to get this lead back after turning the ball over twice inside the red zone, 137. And you got 3 timeouts. You can't take them with you into the second half, so you might as well use them, get the right play call.
South Rowan's going to get the football to start the second half.
Yes, they will. As they won the coin toss and decided to defer. Let's see if we have any updates on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there, Mark. See if I can find anything for us. Service. We're not talking bad against Central Cabarrus because it's not their fault. Service at Central Cabarrus, not the best. It's not their fault.
I'm not sure how you can be on a major highway, perfect weather conditions, and have no cell signal. You're 200 feet off a major highway.
Exactly. A couple of them I can give you here real quick. Marvin Ridge, Porter Ridge. Marvin Ridge leads that one 7-0. And at the end of one, Mooresville leads Providence 7-0. As we come out here for this 3rd down and 12 with the ball spotted at their own 40, they shift Chinwall in motion and hand it off to the ball carrier of James, who comes near side. He fights towards midfield but stops short at the 49.
A good safe play. Keeps the clock rolling. Now, if you want to punt the ball, you can take some time off the clock or force them to take a timeout.
And looks
or
like,
you can go for it,
and they're going to go
down
for
and 4.
unless you can decide to kick it with your quarterback here. But it looks like you said, the offense back out there on the field with a 4th and 4. They're going to line up Rogers in the gun with James to his right, put 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Chinwall, the lone man by himself at the bottom. They give it to James. James up the middle. He's got enough for the 1st down. He's still running forward and stopped at the 44. Clock stopped with 55 seconds.
Again, a good job up front for the offensive line, just firing off the line of scrimmage.
And their 2nd timeout called here by Central Cabarrus to stop it as the ball spotted at the 44.
And they, South Rowan had 2 linebackers up in the gaps trying to fit that. Central Cabarrus just blew them off the ball.
Bigger and stronger up front, and so far winning that line.
I think you need to take advantage of that. You don't have to be complicated.
Every now and then just keep them honest with the pass, but like you said, I think you just run the rock and you just keep running it. It's been working for you.
The problem is you dropped the ball on the ground twice inside the red zone.
Yes, and one time they dropped it. When they dropped it over here, they were trying to hand it off to Ogilvy Wiggins, and I think it's the 2nd time we called his name, and only the 1st time that he was the ball carrier when he tried to get it and he dropped it there.
Yeah.
So that one there just, I think, maybe a little bit of a shakeup. But like you said, all in all, 2 turnovers in the red zone is costly.
I tell you what, if it's me, I'm getting James the ball as many times as I can.
James, so far, if I am recalling this correctly, has had at least 3 runs over 15 yards so far.
They got him lined up as a slot receiver now in a 4-receiver pattern.
Going 2 by 2 each direction here. Empty backfield with Rogers. Rogers steps back, looks down the field, goes off into the flat towards Ogilvy Wiggins and throws that one behind him and incomplete.
Not a good throw. I don't know if he's expecting the receiver to come back. The receiver looked like he was expecting the ball to be thrown outside, and the ball's thrown inside, and really could have been really dangerous.
Yeah, that defender was right there behind him, like you said. Now one could have been picked off heading the other direction because there was no defenders in front of him, and that would have been green grass for the defender for the Raiders. So a 2nd and 10 after the incompletion here. They put James back in the backfield, and Rogers set to throw. He looks deep, airs one out far side of the field. That one almost picked off as he was trying to get it towards Chinwall.
A good defensive play. The defender ran the route. And there's not much the receiver could do. He tried to high point the ball, and just a little higher than he could get to.
Yeah, Chinwall, an athlete here for the Vikings.
If you got a draw play, here's a time possibly to run that draw play. Get this clock started running.
And you still got a timeout if you get this first down here, Mark. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Linebackers are charging up. They bring one of them.
Rogers throws and
nowhere near it.
A lot of miscommunication
and
there.
You can see that McCorkle not happy. McCorkle is like, where are you throwing?
McCorkle was there, and so was Chinwall, but
there were 3 defenders there, 2 receivers, and
here comes the punt.
Rogers threw it somewhere in between all 5 of those guys.
As the punt unit heads out there with 44 seconds left here.
And see, the problem here, you stop the clock too. Of course, if you pin them back deep, you don't have to worry about it too much. South Rowan's going to probably be safe.
And you'd have to think they would probably just need this one out with the lead, knowing they get the ball to start the second half. So, like you said, you'd have to think they just need
you might run one play or two just to see if you can get a
Cossack.
Yeah,
kicks this one, and look at that punt. And they stop it right there at the 1.
Well, now that changes things. You can't take a knee.
Yeah, that changed it. You might have to hand this one off at least once. And
let's quote John Fox here. Sometimes punt's not a bad play.
No, it is not. Because sometimes it'll flip the field just like it did right there. As that pins back South Rowan at their own 1-yard line with 32 seconds left here in the first half, leading.
See if South Rowan just takes a quarterback sneak and just wedges their way out some.
And if you're Central, do you just bring the house on this one and hope for it?
Well, you can't afford to do too much. You got to play pretty straight defense. If you sell out and they do something tricky like a quick pitch, or just a flare out to one of the wideouts on a quick throw, but they're going to go shotgun.
There's the snap, set to throw, throws it into the flat. It's going to be caught by Moore. Moore makes a man miss as he makes a move and gets it up to the 9 before being brought down.
That's a gutsy call, throwing a screen pass in the end zone.
Yeah, they trusted the quarterback of Overcash and the receiver of Moore, like you said. Very gutsy as there's 15 seconds left, and that should end the half here. There's no rush for anyone to get into it. And they are, Mark. There's only 5 seconds as they jog towards the far sideline, and that's going to take us to halftime with the score 14-6. South Rowan Raiders on top of the Central Cabarrus Vikings as they score 14 unanswered here. We're going to step away for a moment, and we're going to come back on the Ben Minot Shop, Click, and Drive halftime show. You're listening to 485 Sports from Central Cabarrus High School.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th through 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, a countdown of Yuletide cheer brimming with festive decor and seasonal magic. Buy tickets early and save at southernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Kraft Body Scan.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Once Upon a Time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Huzzah! Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Too jolly good.
You'll love the Renaissance Festival.
There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, the living mermaids, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop outdoor family adventure. Presented by Pepsi. Sponsored by Hedis Tita. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Save your dates while supplies last. Renaissance Festival, here I come.
Welcome back in here to Central Cabarrus High School on homecoming night. The score 14-6 as the South Rowan Raiders lead the Central Cabarrus Vikings here. In this one, Vikings trying to get their first win of the year, and the Raiders trying to get their second win of the year and first in conference. Mark, thoughts of the first half so far?
Well, 2 big turnovers. That's the thing, the difference in the ball game right now. South Rowan's played fairly conservative. They took a couple of shots downfield, namely that post pass that they ran. They got them down on the 1 yard line, set up their second touchdown. But and Central Cabarrus got down on the goal line and run a couple of pass plays and then a trick play.
Yeah, like you said.
And they're superior up front. Line up and knock them off the ball. Put it in James's belly and let James run over the top of somebody.
I agree. Hopefully they're in the locker room right there with Coach B. And like you said, 2 fumbles inside the Pizza Hut red zone. Hopefully they got cinnamon sticks in there so they're sticky and they can hold on to that ball inside that red zone.
Need something to hang on the ball a little bit better. And one was on the jet man. They direct snap it. The other was a handoff in the backfield that they just mishandled. But, you got Ogilvy's Wiggins, not necessarily one of your more experienced runners out there, but you got James out there. Give him the ball.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think James is your guy to go to today. We've watched James run the ball 3 to 4 times for over 15 yards, and we saw one right there that we thought was going to just end the half, and they weren't even really going to have much of a shot, and he took off. I mean, just busted off down the field. And then they get down there and they turn the ball over in the Pizza Hut red zone. So keep feeding James.
Central Cabarrus got on the board first, 5:52 in the first quarter. A 7-yard run by DeMonte James. The kick was no good, 6-0. That was a 58-yard drive. And, had a big James run in there. You had a big pass play to Daniel Clay. Rogers made a good throw to Clay. And it was 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. And then things started to change. Central Cabarrus looks like they're going to, take charge in this game, then fumble it down on the goal line. A 95-yard and plus or minus. I didn't write down the exact yards, but about a 95-yard drive. And Freeze caps it off with a 6-yard run with 7:23 left in the second quarter for South Rowan. Littlejohn with the kick. That made it 7-6. Central Cabarrus comes back. They go downfield, get inside the 20, fumble the handoff at like the 18-yard line. And then South Rowan goes down the field 82 yards. A good scramble by their quarterback. Overcash gets a good scramble. And then Central gets an unsportsmanlike conduct 15-yarder tacked onto the end of that. Turns into about a 27-yard play. Then they throw the big pass play down on the 1-yard line. Overcast then sneaks it in. Littlejohn with the kick, 14-6. Central got good field position, couldn't do much with it, and had to punt to end the half, and that's where we stand, 14-6, South Rowan with the lead.
Yeah, like you said, it's been a game of momentum. At first, like you said, it started off Central Cabarrus, great field position, great drives. They were looking good. Then they turn the ball over in the red zone. South Rowan drives the length of the field, takes that momentum right away from him and snatches it. And then it looked like, again, Central grabbed that momentum back as they got back in the red zone and they turn it over again. So like you said, tale of basically in between the 20s, Central's winning the game. But once they get inside the red zone, it's just
both
Rowan.
touchdowns came after Central Cabarrus turnovers. Now, granted, they went 82 yards and 95 yards on those drives afterwards, but takes something out of you when you turn the football over, particularly when you're getting ready to go in to score.
Yeah, and then, like you just said, you saw the frustration there as they ended the half. You looked over and you saw the catch there, or the throw from Lucas Rogers to McCorkle, and you saw McCorkle just kind of throw his arms up in the air like, what was that? So you see the frustration starting to kind of get to that offense. They got to calm them down in that locker room.
Well, I pulled out the old Woody Hayes quote earlier. There's when you throw a forward pass, there's 4 things that can happen, and 3 of them are bad.
Yeah.
Right after that, Central Cabarrus fumbles it on a running play. There's a trick play,
and that's tough.
And then you fumble it on a handoff in the backfield on the next drive.
I was listening. You brought up the old Woody Hayes thing. I was listening to a thing talking about broadcasters, and it said something that I was kind of like, it makes me feel better about myself. Because you know how we always say, well, hey, we better watch out here. Hey, he's been perfect so far. Hey, they haven't done this. And then all of a sudden it happens. And they say broadcaster jinx. And I listened to a guy, and he was talking, and he says, a broadcaster can't make that happen. He can just say it. He doesn't make it happen.
Who was it that did that? Of course, the guy, it was a baseball game the other night, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And I can't remember who it was. And the guy said, well, you made sure that you said it after the swing, though.
Yes, he did.
I can't remember who it was. I heard the exact same thing.
I can't either, but you brought up baseball, and I hate
Well, I
it.
tell you what, if I'm broadcasting a baseball game,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say directly no hitter at any point.
No.
I may
no.
say everything but no hitter, but the words no hitter is not going to come out of my mouth until maybe the 9th inning, maybe the 7th inning in a high school game.
Pitching a shutout is about what I would say.
Shutout. So and so hasn't reached base.
Yeah.
The only base runner in this game has been so and so on a walk.
Yeah.
You can say it's a no hitter without saying it's a no hitter.
Yeah, you don't want to just throw out no hitter because that would definitely jinx it. And since we're talking about baseball, I hate it for you. Braves just got eliminated.
Yeah, there's too many injuries, and San Diego's pretty hot right now. They ended the season fairly strong.
Yeah, I watched the first game there, and Fernandez Tatis comes up first at bat and just blasted one right out of the park. I mean, what was it, third pitch he saw? He just cranked it to left center field, and that was not even staying in the park real quick. And I got some score updates if you want to hear something.
Okay, yeah,
Mark.
let's go to the Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. CannonPharmacies.com, home of free delivery.
Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, as you heard Mark say, all these scores provided to us off of Max Prep Sports. Actually, do we want to tell everybody what our winners are first?
Let's hear if we can.
Let's see if we can get them out. The Junior Princess.
Sydney Alston
Is the Junior
Sydney
Princess.
Alston.
Congratulations to Sydney on being named the Junior Princess here at Central Cabarrus High School as we await to find out
The homecoming queen today.
the homecoming queen
You're
and
on the
king.
The BenMonnet.com halftime report.
And I look down there and I see some football players on the
Yeah,
field.
there's a
I
couple
see quarterback
guys out there.
Lucas Rogers. I see wide receiver of Chinwah, and I can't tell who this one is here. It looks like it might be. I can't tell what that one is.
Yeah,
He's
his
not
numbers. His sash covers up his number.
Junior Prince.
So it's Lucas Rogers.
The quarterback here for the Central Cabarrus Vikings is the Junior Prince.
He gets another sash.
It's another one.
That's the double sash and a crown.
And I have to take that off as he jogs into the locker room, go find out what the coach and the boys are talking about here in a moment. As we wait to find out.
Did y'all do it this way at your high school?
Yeah, that's how we did it at mine.
We didn't have kings and princes and stuff like that. We had homecoming court and then the homecoming queen.
The senior queen. Kamari Louisant, the winner of the homecoming queen here at Central Cabarrus, and it looks like her father, military man.
Yeah, and it looks like in his Navy uniform.
So thank you to him for his service since he's out there. I know he's proud of his daughter for being named the 2024 queen here at Central
Senior queen.
Senior queen at Central Cabarrus.
See who's the senior king, or is it?
It should be the senior king here.
Getting lots of pictures taken. Phil Bowen does a great job taking pictures here at Central Cabarrus.
Yes, he does. And the king being announced.
Mr. Tristan Clapp.
Tristan Clapp.
Tristan Clapp.
The running back. We've called his name a couple
linebacker,
times.
number 0. Well, he's had a pretty good ball game so far, too.
Yes, he has. As he is the king of the senior class here at Central Cabarrus.
Hey, like that sparkly dress out there.
I like it. I think it's a good-looking dress.
Green matches Central Cabarrus.
So a huge round of applause to everyone here at Central Cabarrus that was part of the King and Queen ceremony. As we head back to our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard, all of these scores are brought to you off of Max Preps. Second quarter, Independence Garinger. Independence leads 49-7 over Garinger. Second quarter, Cumberson Sun Valley there. That one tied at 7. One of the games we talked about pregame that was going to be a good one. not disappointing. South Iredell, Hickory Ridge. We called Hickory Ridge games this year. Hickory Ridge trying to get that first win of the year with head coach Jupiter Wilson. They lead that one 13-8 over South Iredell at home in Harrisburg. Carson and Concord in action, second quarter. Got a crew over there, John Von Cannon and Chris Hudson. The score there, Concord 3, Carson nothing. Another conference matchup here, West Rowan and Northwest Cabarrus. That one tied at 7 in the second quarter.
I think they've gone to the half with West Rowan up 14-7.
So you got an update on
That's
that one?
over at Trojan Stadium.
Hopewell and West Charlotte. West Charlotte leads that one 19-0 over Hopewell. A.L. Brown, Cox Mill. A.L. Brown trying to get their first win of the year in the second quarter. They lead 7-0 there. In the second quarter of East Rowan Robinson, 55-0. Robinson rolling in that one. Butler beating East Meck second quarter 21-0. Rocky River trailing Catholic 7-0 there. Marvin Ridge, Porter Ridge. Porter Ridge now crawled back into it after being down. Marvin Ridge 7-0. They're now back up 14-10. So Porter Ridge.
Got a score coming in. West Stanley 26, Piedmont 7. That's at the half.
Mooresville and Providence. Mooresville leads 9-0 at half. Mallard Creek leads 13-0 over North Meck at half.
West Cabarrus at the half, leading Lake Norman. West Cabarrus 16, Lake Norman 9. To me, that's a surprise over at West Cabarrus tonight.
And this one I can't say is correct. They may have had a 7:30 kick, so it might be. But Crest South Point, one of the ones we talked about, two powerhouse schools, play great football, both undefeated. First quarter, score tied 6-6.
Mooresville leading 9-0 at the half over Providence. 9-0. There's a safety in that game for the Mooresville Blue Devils.
Kings Mountain and Forest View. Kings Mountain tied at 7 with them. Salisbury and South Davidson. Salisbury leads that one 15-0 over South Davidson.
Monroe 21, Forest Hills 3. That's at the half again. Monroe 21, Forest Hills 3. Just looking through the scores here to see if we've got any more. Cox Mill and A.L. Brown, early second quarter. This was a bit ago. This game probably has gone a little deeper, but early second quarter, all tied up. A.L. Brown 7, Cox Mill 7.
We don't have a crew there. We used to be able to cover some A.L. Brown games, but since A.L. Brown's got a different crew,
they've got their own radio crew, so we don't double up on them as much as we might do. We may have an A.L. Brown against Concord or somebody. Cox Mill, in the past couple of years, have had student crews broadcasting those games. We don't want to kind of step on what they're doing. I'm not sure if they're still doing that. We've touched base with them a couple times, but have not heard back. So that's one reason we haven't done a game there. But again, horn sounding or I guess the siren sounding, but they'll put 3 minutes back on the clock for both teams to get warmed up.
Yep, warm-up period now, as you said. That was a pretty quick homecoming there. Usually it seems a little bit longer than that, Mark. That one there.
Yeah, they got out there and got they didn't have any, big. Sometimes you'll see the band set up and they'll have all kinds of music playing. They'll go through doors and whatnot, but this was pretty straight up. They called everybody out. They walked out on the field and
they were booming.
Then they announced it.
I can tell you one thing. They are still taking pictures here in front of us, Mark, right there at the fence line. But, I can't blame them for that. This is a great moment to remember and all that for these young men and women, for their lives to look back at and for their parents to enjoy and all that. So definitely take all the pictures that you need because, like they say, pictures last 1,000 words. And while we have a second here, we want to let everybody know that our thoughts and prayers are still with all the victims that are out there in the western part of North Carolina right now that are fighting through Hurricane Helen. It raised havoc on the western part of North Carolina and Boone and all the areas out there. So we want to let you know that our thoughts and prayers are with all of you out there. And I saw a thing today, Mark, that I think they said they confirmed so far, just from that hurricane, there's over 220 deaths so far.
Yeah, I believe it's the deadliest hurricane in U.S. history.
It is, and nobody expected it by any means. I mean, it came on land, and we kind of thought that it was going to get here and just be rain.
They thought it would be bad. flooding in western North Carolina has been bad for the last several years. There was they had another hurricane maybe 10, 12 years ago, did a lot of damage, a lot of flooding. This is probably twice to 3 times the amount of flooding that they had. I know there were some tornadoes. They haven't said a lot about tornadoes in the news coverage, but my wife's family lives on Hamburg Mountain Road in Weaverville, and a tornado came up the valley there on Hamburg Mountain and tore up trees, knocked down power lines, and you can see everything just all twisted and gnarled from the pictures that we've seen coming from her family.
That is tough, and Chimney Rock is gone. There is no
the
more
town of Chimney Rock. You know, the little Rocky Broad River that comes down through Highway 74 there. You know, it's a nice little trout stream if you go out there and fish a little bit. It doesn't look like anything, but come roaring off that mountain, off both sides. There's mountains on each side, the water running down, and it just about took out Lake Lure's the dam at Lake Lure. They were able to salvage it. They were concerned that the dam would break.
Yeah, it was definitely devastating out that way. And
let me give you one more score here at the half. Perry's sending this one to us. At the half, J.M. Robinson 66, East Rowan nothing.
66-0 at half.
Is there a fast forward on the clock on games like that? 66-0 at halftime. Robinson over East Rowan.
I got a question. Is Robinson any good?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I'm just kidding.
I feel bad for East Rowan because they're pretty bad too.
I do.
And it's,
as we are set to get the second half underway, as South Rowan set to receive after they won the coin toss and decided to defer, they'll kick another punt directed. It's going to take a bounce and be fielded at the 20, work it back towards the middle of the field, running, finds a hole, gets across the 35 up to the 40 before being brought down.
Oh, we got 2 players who collided at the 30, and they're both laying flat on their back.
Malcon Fuller, the one who received it, and as you heard Mark say, 2 players collided back at the 30. And this will give us a chance to thank Atrium Health and all the trainers for everything they do for all these athletes. They're at every practice, every game, every time anyone suits up or anyone goes out to practice for any sport here at any high school, they have to be there. So a huge shout out to all the athletic trainers from Atrium Health and all the student trainers who make it possible for these athletes to be able to participate in their sports at their high schools. So
yeah, there was a violent collision here. The 2 players just knocked each other's, I won't say knocked each other cold, but they put the pop on each other right at the 30-yard line.
It's never good when you see 2 players collide. And
it's that Tristan Clapp favoring his right leg, and the other player is for South Rowan is number 65, Micah Fry, and Fry is walking off. Looks like he's okay. They're patting him on top of the helmet.
And if I'm not mistaken here, Tristan Clapp just won Senior King.
Yeah, he's the Senior King. He's favored his right leg as he goes to the bench.
As the training staff will look at him right in front of us here on the near side bench, and the ball spotted at the 39-yard line of Central, and that's where the offense will take over.
There's a big possession.
Huge possession here. Need to get a stop if you're the Vikings. As the offense comes out there, and Overcash goes under center. Freeze in the backfield with a power eye. A receiver each direction. They give it to Freeze. Freeze works left, gets the left edge. Somebody grabs the jersey and slows him up, but he fights forward to the 45. And
gets 6 yards. Yeah.
Somebody had a hold of that jersey and was not let go.
They weren't let go, but that jersey stretched a long way.
They grabbed a hold of that right, like it was a right shoulder area, and they just grabbed. And like you said, it stretched. It looked like it stretched about 1.5 yards.
South Rowan would love just to have that same play over and over and over and over.
6 yards, 6 yards, 6 yards. Next thing you know, you're standing in pay dirt.
And the other thing is that clock just keeps rolling. You shorten the game.
And like you said, the 66-0 game is behind our game. We're ahead of them. We got 11 minutes left here, third quarter.
Yeah, they've had a running clock for over a quarter.
As we step back and we launch this one here, Overcash got a man of Moore. Moore goes up and gets it at the 15. And another big play, Overcash to Moore.
Well, they lulled the defense into sleep just like they did me. I'd have been happy just to run the ball.
I would have too, as they go deep there, and they'll put him at the 13, and that's the second time they've done that, Mark. They went deep to Moore. They stopped him at the goal line this last time, and this time they get it inside the Pizza Hut red zone on the first drive.
This time he was open, and a quarterback hit him. The last time the receiver just outfought two Central players.
Give to Freeze, and Freeze brought down in the backfield back at the 16-yard line, and back there to make the play is Morrow.
Yeah, Infinite Morrow. 61's been wreaking havoc up front.
And when Overcash gets time and Moore can get downfield, they can get hooked up, and they've showed it so far today as they've done it twice with big plays of over 40 yards through the air.
Yeah, you heave it downfield once or twice a game. It helps your running game.
They line up in the power I for a 2nd down and 13 after the loss there. They give it to Freeze. Freeze hit in the backfield again, but fights back to the line of scrimmage to the 16.
Again, a violent collision.
And Freeze was hit about 2 yards deep in the backfield, and he was able to fight and not lose any more than
I think the
what they already
defender
lost.
just wanted to slam him to the ground, and he slammed him the wrong direction, slung him toward the goal line.
I agree
You sling
with
him
you.
back the other direction.
It's a loss
if you're
of
gonna
two.
If you're going to throw that man down, throw him back towards your goal line.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 13 after another stop. They line up again, power I. A receiver each direction here. And Overcash under center, working left to right on the first drive. He fakes the handoff. Overcash rolls left across the hash, the numbers, tucks it, rolls, and runs out of bounds. And I can't tell where they're going to mark him. He's
They're
short.
going to mark him just about the 5-yard line, so he's about a yard short.
Yep, that's where they marked him, right at the 5. He is a yard short there, Mark.
Again, keeps the pass alive, but he never stopped running as hard as he could go.
No, he came out of that and looked downfield and saw nothing was there, and that's the exact same thing he did last time. He rolled that ball out left, and when he rolled it out left, he saw he had room. And the exact same thing here. He saw he had room, and he took off for it just this time.
This is gut check time. Can your defense get a stop here? Looks like it's about 2 yards to go. So 4th and 2.
So a 4th and 2. They line up with a man under center. The man in the backfield there is Richards. They fake the handoff. They give it left to Arthur. Arthur goes left, fighting forward as far as he can, and he's in there for the touchdown. Actually, that's Owen Smith they gave it off to. That's a 31, not a 21. So Smith with the touchdown.
5-yard run. Caps, what, a 60-yard drive?
60-yard drive. I think it was
Started at the 40?
39.
39, okay, so
Yep.
61 yards.
61 yards, yep.
And 31 scored.
It took them
Owen Smith.
3.5 minutes. They await the extra point here. There's a snap to place the kick, and he doesn't kick it there as flags fly in from every direction. And there's a false start on the field. We'll try this one again. But that one there, Mark, that's a devastating score for the Vikings.
Well, it puts a little pressure on the Vikings offense. You got to start converting now. You can't get that far behind.
Like they might be trotting the offense back out there, Mark, as they make quite a few substitutions out there. They might have just put the offense back out onto the field.
So half the distance to the goal takes it to what about just short of the 1-yard line. So they've got Smith out in the backfield.
And they do. They got the offense out there on the field as Overcash is going to go into center.
Richards the fullback, got a
Smith,
wing back.
They give it to.
And they stop it.
Looked like Smith, right? Is that what that was?
I think so.
31?
Yeah. Run fails.
Yeah. Nothing happens there, and there's a flag flying in late.
And that's
from the wide hat.
That's a dead ball.
Looked like some jawing there between some players. You'd have to think on that one there, Mark, as the white hat tosses that one right at the goal line and keeps the score 20-6. But that's good. That's a good thing right there, we can say.
And it's against South Rowan, so they're going to get have to back up 15 yards on the kickoff. That's a bad mistake for South Rowan.
Huge mistake. As you see here, 2 big mistakes there. One, they didn't get the score. So now that extra point that Central scored missed makes it even now. So now you're only down exactly 2 scores. Now the 15-yard penalty backs you up for the unsportsmanlike, and we already know that Central has a great special teams. They've been starting somewhere around the 40 almost every time. You're going to have to think they might be starting midfield or already in territory.
They only marked it back 10 yards. Isn't that a 15-yard penalty?
It should be 15-yard unsportsmanlike.
Isn't unsportsmanlike 15 yards?
They only moved it to the 35.
That's
30.
not right.
No, there should be a 15-yarder.
It should be a 15-yard penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, unsportsmanlike is.
Hey, that's the wrong line.
Now they're now I think
they're going to put it at the.
I think.
Well, there's one of the guys come in from the side. He's going to back him up.
Might have now figured it out, as you heard.
You know what I think? What happened? The kicker's the one to mark the ball.
There we go.
He went back to the spot.
Yeah,
he said, "Let me see if I can trick it." There we got it.
Zach Belavacqua here was yelling at him.
Well, I was about to. I gotta remember. I can't yell.
Now they get it right. The ball spotted at the 25, and it should have been 15. And like you said,
I've been known to yell about things I was wrong on too. So.
So you'd have to think that after this one here, if they've already started near the 40 most of the time, they should be starting near the 50 or inside South Rowan territory. It's off the hands.
McCorkle almost.
It is picked up at the 40. They're going to get towards midfield and dive, but a flag flies in.
Yeah,
from
and that's
the back
probably going to be
judge.
a block in the back.
That one picked up from James, and he was stopped at the 49.
Boy, that's a 10-yard mark off that will
hurt.
Yeah, that'll wipe out some good field. It's still okay field position, but you're gonna the flag's at the 46. If you take it back to the 36, and the ball would have been at the 50. So they'll mark it off. Looks like from the. Yeah, he's going. We see some crews that they're very precise. They've got to walk right down the hash mark and everything. This official walked diagonally to the spot, which I don't blame him. That saved him a couple steps.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Is the ball spotted here at the 36 after the penalty. 1st and 10. They give it off to James. James works right, and he'll get a yard and get it up to the 37 of his own. Working from right to left here with the clock down to 8. I just got a score update here, Mark, from up in the Triad. The East Forsyth Eagles in action against Mount Tabor. The score in that one, 7-0. East Forsyth with the lead.
I did a game for WRKB in Kannapolis at Mount Tabor one time.
Tabor that's a powerhouse up that way. I go home and I watch the Frenzy, and then I watch the overtime on the other channel. I'm up till midnight watching high school football every week. That's over the head of Rogers. Rogers chasing after it, and he jumps back on top of it, back at his own 22-yard line, and that one hurts.
Yes.
As he's limping here, favoring that leg towards the sideline, too, it looks like there, Mark.
And that homecoming court took a little bit out of him.
As the clock continues to run, to 7:20 left here, third quarter, and the Vikings in need of a score.
This has just turned into a disaster for Central Cabarrus. They had the ball at the 50, but there was a penalty, had a short run, and now they lost
back all the way
about 20 yards on that play?
Yeah, they're back at their own 22-yard line.
3rd and 25.
Rogers gives this one off to the ball carrier, James. James gets it up to the 35.
Nice little draw play. Quarterback running out like he's going to roll out, just hands it off in the belly, and that's a good play.
That was a great play.
You get some yards back, but you're going to still have to punt it. That's one of those you hope maybe you can bust it.
Wasn't sure why the clock stopped there. I was kind of confused. They were calling for the clock to stop. They stopped it. Now they restarted again. I wasn't sure the reasoning on that one. I thought maybe there was an injured player or a flag, but I didn't see any of it. Now the White Hats got the clock going again.
Now, Cossack flipped the field on his last punt all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Cossack standing at his own 20 here. Ball spotted at the 35. 6:25 left here, third quarter. Moore stands back deep at his own 33. Cossack gets this one up in the air. A spiral punt that goes towards the sideline and bounces at the 40, and it should be about where they get it at. And the spot is right at the 40, and that's where
that one's never turned over.
Oh, it spun like a top.
Yeah, and it hit the tail dragger a little bit, and then when it hit straight, it just bounced straight up when it hit out of bounds.
It wasn't like the one we saw a couple times ago when we were here and we made a triangle.
Yeah. Wait, no, that hit the trash can, and I don't know. I still can't get over that spot.
Best spot ever.
That may be the best spot I've ever seen. I've never seen one quite there.
6:15 left here, third quarter. The Raiders with the ball at their own 40, working left to right here. They move more in motion from left to right out of the slot. They give it off to Freeze in the backfield. He works left, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a good no gain because he got hit about 2 yards deep, hit another man 1 yard deep, and finally gets to the line of scrimmage.
Jordan Haney with the tackle, the linebacker able to get in there.
Mr. Haney.
First time we've called Mr. Haney's name today.
You know Mr. Haney from Green Acres?
I do not know that.
You have to go back to watch Mr. Haney on Green Acres. He was a peddler.
I'll have to go watch some of those. I haven't watched any of those.
Yeah, he was a wheeler dealer.
Wheeler and dealer. As we got a 2nd and 10 after the stop there from Haney. Ball spotted at the 40. They put 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. There's the snap, fakes the handoff. Overcash rolls left, tucks it down, takes off. Morrow chasing. He's got enough for the first down and runs out of bounds, and a flag
on a
flies
play.
in.
That may be an illegal block. Let's see. 17's pointing to Central Cabarrus, but I think that's a block in the back. It is a block in the back.
Block in the back, going to take
That'll
him.
wipe out the first down.
And that is, again, he's running that play, and he's showing the handoff to the back there. And once he shows that
they're
handoff,
crashing hard off the end, so they lose containment.
and he knows it too. The quarterback of Overcash does. And once he shows that handoff and they crash and he rolls out to his left, he takes off to that. I mean, he turns his body and he starts facing the 10-yard pylon down the field, and he just runs to it. And that time, able to chase after it. The penalty right there at the line to gain, so it just makes it a second
down,
10.
yeah. Replayed it down, basically.
Basically, that's all they're doing here after the penalty. It just backs them up 10 yards because it happened right at the line to gain. They put trips tight to the line right. Receiver tight left as well. Quick throw out into the flat, but Moore brought down in the backfield at the 36. And a big play in the backfield there.
Moises Bellin.
Kendrick Bell.
Oh, is it 5? I
He's
thought
at
it was
6.
6. Okay.
As I only got it. I just heard him come through the headset.
Okay.
That's the only reason why.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it's 5. Okay.
As we have 4.5 left here, third quarter mark. And the Vikings in need of a stop. A big one here. If they can get a stop here and possibly flip field, get a great return.
Yeah, you can get pretty good field position out of this if you can get a stop here without a big gain.
2-by-2 set, 2 each direction here. Overcash in the gun. Steps back. Looks downfield. He steps up in the pocket, rolls left. He's being chased there, and he gets grabbed and brought down.
Nice job of getting that jersey.
And Haney again there with the stop.
I think Mr. Haney might have been spying on that one just a little bit, keeping track of where that quarterback was because he ran him down.
He did, and he did exactly what he needed to do. He grabbed a hold of that shoulder pad, got a hold of that jersey, and did not let go. And that shows you why grip strength is such a big thing.
Oh, yeah, because if he grabs that jersey and can't hang on, he takes off and gets the first down.
So grip strength working good here so far in this quarter for the Vikings. They've got 2 big stops because of it. Got a penalty that brought them back after the block in the back, and they get a turnover, or not a turnover, they force a punt here. As I can't tell, and whistles on the field and a timeout. Central. Maybe they didn't quite have enough personnel out there. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I count 11 on the field there, Mark.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem was, but
back deep to receive.
I believe
James.
on a punt, I'd almost let it go there instead of waste a timeout.
Clock's still running.
The clock's still running, guys, on the timeout.
Should be about 3 minutes. Yeah, the clock's down to 2:50.
I guess they thought it was at J.M. Robinson.
Is the clock now stopped at the timeout?
So 2:50 on the clock, and now the folks in the stands
I think they're trying to set the clock. They're going to put it back to 3. So 3 minutes back on the clock after the clock ran. And here's the snap, the punt, a line drive that's going to bounce towards the side. It's going to take a good bounce there and roll all the way down to the 34. I wasn't sure if that was going to take a bounce for South Rowan or if that was going to bounce for
you never know.
there.
You never know. That was kind of a wobbly-looking kick, and depends on which way it hits the ground.
And that one there took the bounce for South Rowan, and the Vikings in need of a touchdown here, trailing by 2 scores with 2:49 left in the third quarter, down 14. And this right here, I think you just got to pound the rock with James.
Well, got to mix it up a little bit. I mean, I'd give it to James and let. He may throw it out in the flat a couple times, but
he does give it to James. James goes up the middle. James runs for a pickup of 5 on first down and gets it out to the 40. As they had 2 receivers, 1 wide each direction there, and James gets 5.
They have not had many answers for him when he carries the ball.
They have not. As the clock runs down to 2.5 here. Third quarter. Mark Plemmons, James Mellick with you guys here. 45 Sports Crew in action in Concord. There is the snap. They give it back to James on second down. He goes right side this time. Got enough for the first. Fights forward towards midfield, but he stopped at his own 48. But that'll move the chains. And so far here, they've ran back-to-back plays to James. He's carried 1 for 5 and that one for 7.
They have not had an answer for it.
And the band here making a little bit of noise on the home crowd side with 1:50 left. They break the huddle.
Got Clay outside. Looks like he's got maybe one-on-one out there.
Put 2 receivers left, 1 to the right here. There is the snap. They go back to James. James goes up the middle. He gets to midfield, keeps fighting forward, and then he gets eventually drugged down at the 48 of South Rowan. So pick up a 4 there on fourth down, and it looked like he was only going to get
First down, yeah.
It only looked like he was going to get 2 there, but he just kept them legs moving and got a couple more.
Yeah, just keep grinding.
So 3 plays, 3 runs, all to DeMonte James so far. Clock winding down to 1:10 left here, third quarter, and huge need of a touchdown of the Vikings.
Yeah, you need a score here.
They put 2 receivers left, 1 right. There's the snap. They go back to James. James goes right. He makes it through the first bit of the line and then gets brought down after a pickup of 1
It's
there.
about a yard and a half. You're in 4-down territory here, so you stay positive. You got a Central player down at the 44-yard line.
Man, it looks like
that's McCorkle.
McCorkle, yeah,
Yeah,
number 12.
McCorkle down on the ground. 48.5 seconds left, third quarter.
Clock stopped after the injured player there. As we see the offense gather up around Coach B here at the 50-yard line is a critical 3rd down and 5 coming up here with the ball at the South Rowan 47. We got a second. I want to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by BenMinute.com, the proud sponsor of our halftime show. Cannon Pharmacy, proud sponsor of our scoreboard. Wilkinson Funeral Home, a proud sponsor of high school athletics. Pizza Hut, the sponsor of the Red Zone, your Carolina Pizza Hut. The Independent Tribune, Mark's Day Job.
Yep.
The Cabarrus County Fair, the Carolina Renaissance Festival, and the Southern Christmas Show. That's my fiance's favorite sponsor, I can tell you that much.
Well, I tell her we got some tickets coming.
My favorite sponsor, I love them all, but my favorite one is Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
I love Pizza Hut. That's my favorite one because, hey, I love pizza. Nothing wrong with the other ones at all. I love them as well. But
now, how does that fit into your vegan diet?
Vegetarian. It
Vegetarian,
fits
okay.
in well. I can get the gold medal slice, cheese only.
Okay.
Cheese only. I don't eat any meat, so it fits in okay. As they give this one off to James. James goes right, gets a huge hole down the right hash. Running, man falls, cuts it back inside. James grabbed from behind. He's going to the house.
47 yards.
Is DeMonte James answers from 47 yards out on the run. And I don't know if is that James? Yes, that was James.
James runs at 47 yards. They ran shotgun with back at either side of Rogers. They crisscrossed, and when they crisscrossed, the back on the right went left. The back on the left side went right. That was James, and James was into the secondary, made a couple of good cuts, and took it to the house, 47 yards.
And we saw something there. We saw the jersey grab, but he was able to run out of it. As they run for 2 here, they put this one in the hands of Clapp. Clapp throws it in the air, and it was going to be picked off and intercepted the other way. So the 2-point conversion unsuccessful here for Central. Is the score now 12-20 with 10:14 left here in the third quarter, and the Vikings back in this ball game as they go
that's
47 yards.
Still a big score, even though you don't get the 2-point conversion. But now you know you can run that ball down the field,
And they just showed it.
and you can hang on to the ball.
They can hold on to it, and they can just flat pound it down your throat if they want to, and that's what they did on that drive.
2 first-half drives into the red zone, 2 fumbles. 2 fumbles lost.
Yes. And I don't think, honestly, I may be wrong here, Mark. You can tell me if I am or I ain't. I don't think they passed the ball once there on that drive, did they? Or did they try?
No, they didn't at all.
I don't think they even tried to pass attempt on that drive.
It was James running the ball, I think, 4 times.
That's what I thought it was. So I did not think they went through the air with Rogers at all.
Cossack to kick off.
Back deep is Moore again. He stands it.
They're all creeping up. Now's the time to kick it deep, kick it over their head.
As Moore stands at the 22-yard line. And Cossack
No, he's just kicking it.
kicks it near side at the 20. Going to be fielded and hit at the 30 and brought down right there at the 30. Is going to be Fuller, and the tackle made there.
Oglesby Wiggins.
And Oglesby Wiggins, we've seen him play running back. He was one of the ones who lost the fumble
played
there.
a little wide out, but that time just a good open field tackle against the return man, Macon Fuller.
And that was a big play there by Oglesby Wiggins as he made the mistake in the first half, and he makes a big play right there. We got an update there on our
Mount
Cannon
Pleasant,
Pharmacy?
South Stanley have gone to the half. 12-12 our score.
That's a good game there.
That is a conference matchup, too, for Mount Pleasant, I believe.
Mount Pleasant, the last game of the year for Mount Pleasant is going to be against, if I remember correctly, don't they always play against Robinson the last game? Used to be conference, non-conference now?
Yeah, it may be.
As they hand this one off and go left side with Fuller, he'll get it up to the 35. He'll pick up 4, and that'll end the third quarter. So the end of the third quarter, the score, 20-12, South Rowan on top of Central Cabarrus. We will flip the field, and we will get set here for the fourth quarter. And I try to look down here and see if I see any 4s up in the air. I don't see any, Mark.
No, I guess these teams don't do that.
I guess not.
Save their energy.
Yeah, they're going to need it because this is going to be a battle down to the end. Got a couple updates
12
I
minutes
can give
of
us.
football left.
Couple of updates here on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard there, Mark. South Mech and Palisades. Is that how you say it?
Palisades.
Palisades. 14-6 South Mech. Sun Valley Cupperson. Sun Valley leads that one 14-7. Havelock and Conley. Havelock leads 26-10. Independence Garinger. Independence leads 61-7. Hickory Ridge. It can't be. That ain't Hickory Ridge. Never mind. I just looked at it quick. That's not Hickory Ridge.
Yeah, it is South Iredale and Hickory Ridge. Yeah, that's who they're playing.
Well, South Iredale is up now. I looked at that backwards. The way they laid that out there, it didn't spell Hickory the correct way. So it's 23-13. South Iredale leads that one. So a second down and 7 here after the timeout. Working from right to left, they give it off to Freeze, and Freeze fights forward up to the 38-yard line.
This is the biggest third down of the game so far right here.
Yes, it is.
You can get a stop.
It's a third down and about 5 here. Third down and a long 4. Third down and 5.
If you're a South Rowan fan and you can get a first down here, that puts a little more pressure over on the guys in the gold jerseys.
So you hear the PA announcer trying to get the crowd revved up to get behind this defense of the Vikings.
Remember, Central Cabarrus has already burned a timeout this half on the punt return unit. Pardon.
You're fine.
I'll step on James's foot here.
As they give this one off to the ball carrier, Freeze. Freeze tucks the shoulder down, and he's right there at the line.
Well, look like they're going to spot it for a first down. I thought maybe his knee touched down early, but it looks like he dove over the pile.
They helped him on this one. They didn't help him on the last one.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
That's what we'll say at least.
It made a good job just kind of leaning over.
Julius Pepper's here tonight.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Julius Pepper's right here. Not really, folks. Not really.
Yeah, I was going to say he shrunk. It compressed him. He's not as tall. He's a little wider.
And speaking of that, there's another thing I'm going to say here in a second. Once we get a break, I want to see if you saw this. I don't know if you saw. As they come out here in the I formation, they go to the right with
Nothing doing Freeze.
Nothing. Because he'll lose a couple back to the 40. He'll lose 2 yards there.
That play looked a little out of kilter. I almost looked like he wanted to pitch the ball, and then he wasn't far enough away to pitch it, so he hands it. I don't know or maybe it's just the way it was designed to look.
It looked a little different, like you said, for sure. The quick thing I was going to say real fast is, did you see that the Charlotte Catholic player and son of Thomas Davis, Thomas Davis Jr., is going on his official visit this weekend to Eugene?
No, I didn't.
He's going to Eugene, Oregon on an official visit. There is the snap. Quarterback, Overcash, going to roll left, get to the left hash, toss it. That one's going to fall incomplete as he was trying to get that one in the hands of the receiver of Besco.
That was a pretty nice throw. Bisco had it right in his hands and he couldn't handle it. Stops the clock with 9:51.
Yeah, the senior couldn't hold on that one. You got an update there, Mark?
Yeah, we do on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. Concord 10, Carson nothing. That's in the third quarter.
John Von Cannon and Chris Hudson calling that one for you guys.
On the NFHS Network. Of course, some of you may be listening here on the NFHS Network, and, of course, we're also simulcasting audio on this one on the Radio Free Cabarrus 485 Sports YouTube channel.
A big 3rd down and 12 here, and timeout.
South Rowan.
And that's their first.
So both teams, by our count, have 2 timeouts remaining here for the final 9 minutes and 51 seconds. 20-12. South Rowan with the lead and the football, but a big 3rd down and long.
South Rowan trying to put a damper on homecoming night, and the Vikings trying to put an exclamation point on homecoming night, get their first win here at home and their first win of the season here, as they have a huge 3rd down. And they try to stand up big, the defense does, and make a stop here against the Raiders and get the ball trailing by 8, Mark. And how big would it be to get your first win of the season at home on homecoming night? It'd be huge.
Be pretty big.
This could be a big jump to get your season started, as you have a tough test next week, though.
South Rowan student section all dressed in pink tonight.
Breast cancer awareness.
You know, they painted the pit walls over at Charlotte Motor Speedway earlier this week.
Yes, they did. We had our crew there to help out doing that from Colleague Racing.
Yep.
They line up 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Overcash set to throw, steps back. Fires to the left, right at the line to gain, and he's going to make the catch, and it's a 1st down for Wood.
Well, that's a good throw.
He knew where the marker was, and he went right to it.
He just zipped that ball and hit him right in a 1 and a 0 right on his chest.
Buried it in his chest, like you said. And, yeah, like I was saying, our crew able to go over there. Our PR department, public relations, was there helping paint the pit wall at Charlotte Motor Speedway for next weekend's Roval race there at Charlotte.
And, of course, we have a bunch of pictures in the Independent Tribune this week. Thanks to Charlotte Motor Speedway for sending those out.
Charlotte Motor Speedway. If you're looking for something to do next weekend, the Bank of America Roval 400 would be a good one, as they hand this off to Freeze, who works right, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, right at the line of scrimmage. But it keeps that clock going tick, tick, tick.
Yes,
2nd down and 10.
Can you hear the cars from your house, Mark?
I can. When the wind blows right, I can.
You can?
Yeah, I can hear the cars. I can really hear the drag strip.
Oh, yeah.
The drag strip, you know, it's like on the weekend. West Rowan 21, Northwest Cabarrus 7. That's in the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
I'm a little surprised that I thought Northwest would win that game. They still could, but
I agree.
they got a 2-touchdown hole in the 3rd quarter over at Trojan Stadium.
I agree with you. I thought Northwest would be the favorite to win that one by a good bit as they trail, like you said. Power I formation on this 2nd down as the ball is marked at the Central 44. They hand it off, and a loss of yards there pushes them back to the 46.
Well, your man Haney in on that play and also getting up off the bottom of the pile, big 52. And 52 took on a blocker. That is Justin Good. Justin Good took on a blocker and engaged the ball carrier as well.
A 3rd down and 11. And remember, they got in this situation just a moment ago, Mark. It was a 3rd down and 12. We saw the receiver, Wood, know where the first down marker was, go right to that marker, and his quarterback, Overcash, burned one right in between the 1 and the 10, and they picked up a first down.
Now, Overcash has gotten the ball out quick. He doesn't dilly-dally around, but you got to respect his legs, though, running, because you could take half of it and then run forward on 4th down here if you choose to.
Ball marked to the Central 46. They put trips right. Overcash rolls to the right, gets it to 50, throws it up in the air, and it's going to be batted and incomplete.
Good play.
Getting there to get that one is Ash Morrow. That's the second time he's batted one down. He had a chance for an interception, and he had another one there. Knocked them both down, and that one a huge 3rd down to force him to punt this ball here with 7:27 left in his ball game.
Yeah, they did not let him break contain that time, and he had to throw it. So Central Cabarrus needs to get off the field. Into 3rd quarter, J.M. Robinson 76, East Rowan nothing.
As James stands back at his own 16, and Robinson rolling it home.
Waiting on flag football season at East Rowan. Do they play flag football at East Rowan? Oh,
I'm not sure if they do, but that's been like a corkscrew. Is it's going to take a bounce for Central and bounce out of bounds near the 25. They're going to mark it at the 23.
So Central Cabarrus got the ball back. 7:18, 2 timeouts.
They got time.
Their biggest drive of the game. A.L. Brown 14, Cox Mills 7. That's in the 3rd quarter.
A.L.
Chargers
Brown.
and Wonders.
A.L. Brown made the playoffs last year. In the last week, they snuck into the playoffs, faced Mooresville in the first round, and almost pulled off the upset last year, Mark. The Wonders almost had everybody wondering how they pulled it off.
But they didn't.
They didn't. You're right. But then Mooresville goes in the next week and got upset.
Mooresville's pretty good.
Mooresville is very good this year. As they come out here on 1st down and give the ball off to James. James swallowed up in the backfield, and he'll lose 3 back to the 20 on 1st down.
Pulled a guard and pulled the center on that play, and they just shot the gap right behind the 2 blockers.
Malcolm Fuller, the one who shot the gap to get the tackle there back at the 20 for a loss of 3 to make it a 2nd 13 here. A crucial drive for the Vikings as they trail by 8. Clock winds down under 7. Trying to get the first win of the season on homecoming night. They'll line up 2 receivers left, working left to right here. They put a man down here, Clay on an island by himself. Ball at the 20. They give it to James. James comes near side, works down the right hash, gets grabbed by his foot, tries to jump forward towards the 1st down marker, and he's got enough for it. And he's
Infinite Mara with a good block leading the way. That last man, he couldn't get a piece of, and he got James by the leg.
And James runs again for another 10-yard run or more. That's 13 yards he got. And that's when you're James and you keep just running chunk yards, 10, 15, 20. You just keep feeding him the rock. And now they're set to throw here. They go towards the receiver, Chinwall, and that one well short from Rogers, and you see the frustration.
Yeah, got to make a better throw. That's on the quarterback. He's just not zipping it out there.
And you'd have to think that one there, though, Mark. And
if he gets it out there, that he's got a good chance of making a big play.
I agree. I agree with you 100%, but you have to think that one there might have had something to do with not being able to release that arm lately. Been a lot of runs with James, and first time we've really seen him try to throw a ball in about 6 plays or so.
Yeah, got to let it fly, though. He's thrown some short balls, too, on some other plays.
As they move Clay out into the flat here near side by himself, they got 2 receivers to the top. They hand this ball off to the back, and he swarmed in the backfield, and I couldn't see if that was a 3 or a 2 who they handed that off to. So it had to be a 2, so it had to be James.
Owen Smith getting up off the bottom of the pile. Also looked like number 40 with Orion Collins.
A big 3rd down and 11 here. 5.5 left, trailing by 8. Ball.
You got to get something. Get half of it, get 3/4 of it, then maybe you go for it. Otherwise, you're going to have to punt the ball away.
Ball at your own 33. They give it to James. James finds a hole, turns it upfield, gets inside the 40 before being brought down. He's all the way up to the 43.
He's a yard short. You got to go for it.
Got to go for it. I agree with you here, Mark. You got to. I think you line up in that power eye.
4th and 1.
Line up with power and run it with James, I think.
What's your best running play?
Put Morrow to the left. 2 receivers left. James to the left as well. Clay at the bottom. 4th and 1 here. And almost got him to jump off sides, and he's able to hold himself back as one of the Raiders. There's the snap. They give it to James. James swarmed up in the backfield, and he stopped. And a huge play from the Raiders as they get the ball in plus territory with 4.5.
I believe that's Owen Smith that makes first contact. Smith slows the runner down, and then everything is stacked up in front. He just cannot break that first tackle.
Big Keaton Taylor down on the field, the junior offensive lineman back at the 40-yard line as Atrium trainers are out there to check at him. And Mark, a huge stop with 4:37 left here. The Raiders get him to turn the ball over and plus territory, and you line up with the best play. Your line has been in control all day, and that time they beat you.
And you got a linebacker who shot the gap. He gets enough of the ball carrier to slow him down, and he can't get up off the backside of those two big linemen.
Yeah, he could not get anywhere. Got stuffed in the backfield, and the Raiders have a chance to control this one. Both teams still only have 2 timeouts. That's unofficial on our end, but we're pretty sure that both teams only have 2 timeouts left here. Is the big man there of Taylor going to get some help off the field? As
Kelton Taylor, and he was one of the guys in front of James that time blocking and coming up with a little Gimpy there on the been helped to the sideline.
And you have to think here, if you are South Rowan, you just want to pound the rock. You want to chew clock here. They only have 2 timeouts.
You think that, but, the defense is thinking that too. At some point you may take a play action and heave it down the field, throw that post again, get everybody sucked up.
Throw that post to Moore again like they've done. And that's what they're going to do here, Mark. They got the post with Moore. He's beat the man, got the throw. That's in the basket and caught.
Well, he threw the flag or the fly instead of the post, but, you get the defense sucked up, and they're wanting to make a play, and you just run past the defender.
And Moore makes the play and in there for the touchdown, and you see Overcash celebrating after that one as he knew he threw a dime with 4:28 left here to extend the lead 26-12 over Central.
Yeah, that's a good throw.
And that is a tough break for Central as they were in this ball game. We don't want to say they're out of it because anything can happen, but that one definitely stings as that one is up and good. The score 27-12, 4:28 left here, Mark, and you need 2 strikes and you need them fast.
Yeah, you can't just run the ball now with James. You got to find a way to get bigger chunk plays. That doesn't take James completely out of it, but you got to find a way to get some points quickly.
As so far, they've put up, I think that's 14 unanswered again from South Rowan?
Yeah, they scored. Well, no, James scored, so that they were back-to-back. They've swapped scores here in the second half.
Scores?
So, yeah.
As South Rowan set to kick this one off from right to left after the touchdown throw from 40 yards out from Overcash to Moore.
Overcash has made a couple of really good throws here in the second half.
That one there was an absolute beaut. As this
Little John just flies it deep.
Kick over to Chinwah. Chinwah works near side towards us across the numbers. He's got the edge. Chinwah jumps back inside across midfield, and he's brought down at the South Rowan 47-yard line, and a huge return from Chinwah.
2 South Rowan defenders ran into each other down at about the 15-yard line. I don't know exactly what was happening there, but they knocked each other down.
As they did.
And Chinwah ran away from them. I don't know that they had a chance to get him, but both were laying on the ground, just basically knocked each other out of the play.
And Chinwall only had one man to beat, and it was right here at midfield, and he just couldn't get around him as he made that jump cut back inside. If he could have got around him, it was nothing but green grass in front for the Vikings.
We haven't seen McCorkle in the
a bobbled snap.
pass game. It might be a good chance to go there, but they're going to go to Clay.
Clay catches it. He tries to cut back in on the right hash. He gets it inside the 45 down to the 43. Bobbled snap there, Mark, as he tried to catch that one. It looked like he might have took his eyes off of it, but he was able to bring it in.
Sometimes when you get in a hurry, but things like that happen.
Speaking of that, did you see that play Baker Mayfield made in that game when he one-hand snagged that football out of the air and then made the play downfield on the snap?
Didn't do that for the Panthers.
He did not, but I watched him do it last night. It was amazing. As they hand this one off to James. James comes near side, makes a seam, keeps turning it upfield, and he's going to be brought down inside the 35.
That's a good play to keep the run in the defense's mind. Now you got to get up and hurry. You can't dilly-dally around because you need 2 scores.
Official spot to 33. Clock under 3.5 left here. Trying to hustle. Rogers going to come out now telling Clay to play again. Clay goes left. They'll put 2 receivers to the left, whistles, and then
timeout. South Rowan. So South Rowan will burn their second timeout.
Trying to slow them up here a little bit. South Rowan is 3:15 left here in this one. And Central needing 2 scores to get back in this ball game as they trail by 15.
Well, the only way Central can get back in is score quickly, or if South Rowan makes costly turnovers.
Score quick.
And you take that timeout right there to make sure that you don't have, if you have the wrong call out there, if you have the wrong personnel, if you don't have enough personnel, try to avoid that big play.
Yeah, you don't want to let that big play happen, like you said. And, right now, we'll see what happens on this play with 3:15. The ball at the 33-yard line, a 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Mark Clemens, James Mellick here for you guys on the call on the National Federation of High School Sports and on our YouTube channel. We love having you guys here with us this evening. We have a great game, and we talked about it, Mark. Not 2 powerhouse schools, but it was going to be a great matchup, and it hasn't disappointed.
Yeah, it's been an interesting game here tonight for sure.
They line up trips right. Lucas Rogers set to throw. He tosses into the flat. That one's going to be, it was in the hands and dropped as that was in the hands.
Clay broke it up. Clay got his hands and stripped it away, or else that was intercepted.
Cameron Barth, the one who had that one, the senior linebacker.
He had visions of sideline dancing in the end zone there, but just stepped right in front.
It's like you said, Clay just a little bit bigger and stronger, able to break that one up and force the incompletion, stop the clock with 3:09, and brings up a 2nd down and 10 here. There is the snap to Rogers. He gives it to James. James up the middle, makes the cut, down the right hash, fighting and still fighting forward before being brought down all the way up at the 11-yard line. And inside the Pizza Hut red zone. If it's too late to go to Pizza Hut tonight, remember, you can go tomorrow. You can get it on the app.
They still got a couple hours left to Pizza Hut.
They got time to get it, but if it's too late for you to eat, you can still get it tomorrow if you want to.
Never too late for me to eat.
Never too late for me. As they hand this one off to James, and he swarmed up in the backfield and brought down at the 13.
Yeah, that tandem there, Owen Smith
and now the clock.
And Orion Collins making a tackle. We've seen them tag team a couple times on big plays for the defense.
Now the clock is definitely not your friend if you're Central, because it's down to under 2.5, and you're trailing by 15.
Yeah, you got to score and then hope for a
Rogers pulls it out of the belly, goes to Chinwall. Chinwall in and out of the hands as he bobbled that one and broke up from Moore.
Pretty good throw that time.
That was a good throw. And Chinwall just bobbled as he came down.
I think he had thoughts of trying to struggle to the end zone before he tucked it away. But it does stop the clock with 2:14 left.
We haven't said it on the broadcast yet, Mark, but it is an absolute gorgeous night for high school football. It's something we haven't got here recently, and it is a gorgeous Friday night. As Rogers sets the feet, throws a quick one in. He drops it. Chinwall does, but the quarterback's leveled and a flag.
It's going to be 1st down.
Like you said, he got leveled. Number 55 came in there and blasted him. Brian
I think
Vasquez.
they caught him right up underneath the chin. So it's an automatic first down, half the distance to the goal.
2:08 though, so the clock is your enemy. You need an onside kick here after you score now, Mark.
I wondered at that time, you could see the blitz coming. I wondered if they were offside, but there was no flag for offside. But boy, he came in a hurry, and that should have been a touchdown again. There's another drop pass.
Chinwall, second time back-to-back plays, he's dropped one. Usually Chinwall pretty sure-handed here for the Vikings.
Of course, he had a big kick return to get them in pretty good field position to start this drive.
2:08 left here. Ball at the 6. First and goal. There's the snap to Rogers. Rogers sets his feet. Pressure. Rolls right. He throws in there, and that one's going to be toe dragged and caught. That's going to be a touchdown from Chinwall.
Good
Third
throw.
time's a charm.
Good throw. 6-yard pass.
Third time's a charm as Rogers finds Chinwall. Makes the score 18-27 with exactly 2 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. And Central keeps the offense out there on the field, needing 15 to go for 2. It's the right call here, Mark.
Yeah, you gotta. You're down 9. You need points.
2-point conversion here is absolutely a must, being down 9. There's the direct snap to James. James, and he takes off to the goal line. He's right there at it. He's fighting,
short.
And he's a half a yard short.
Wow.
In a huge stop there, as it looks like number 40 was the one with the stop. That's going to be
Ryan Collins,
the senior linebacker. Good job there by Big 40 to get in there.
So 27-18. Now it takes 2 scores for Central to get back in the game. Without a doubt, you've got to have an onside kick.
You have to know the hands team will be out there
Yeah.
for the Raiders now.
(27-18) South Rowan. They just made a huge play on that 2-point stop.
That was massive, yes. If they would have scored that, that could have turned this game.
If you kicked it and made it, you would be still down 8.
Yeah, you have to need another one. You need another touchdown at a 2-point conversion there.
And of course, I don't know that they're real confident in their kicking game after missing an extra point earlier. And I don't know that it's necessarily the kicker that they're confident in. I think it's the operation. Snap, you got to have that snap back and speed. You got to get that ball down, and then you got to kick it through.
I agree. I believe Cossack, pretty solid kicker for the Vikings. And
particularly for extra points, but you just got to get the operation of the kick is the key thing.
Only man, one somewhat back deep is Moore. He stands at the 23, but onside kick coming. Is it going to take a bounce? And a good bounce.
He tipped it too early.
He did tip it a yard too early. A yard to 2 yards. 2 yards. If that's where the beanbag landed at the 48, that's 2 yards too early. If that would have went 2 yards
the
more.
The receiving team can run. The kicking team can't.
He touched it before the 50, right at the 48, where the beanbag lays. We'll wait
Yeah,
and see.
he definitely touched it before it got to the 50.
Should be illegal touching.
Central Cabarrus touched the ball too soon.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
you got to
put the
wait.
ball at the 48.
It's got to go 10 yards. Illegal touching. Did Central Cabarrus recover it?
No, Central didn't. It went to South.
Well, South Rowan should be able to decline that penalty and take the possession.
Say South got it. I think guy right here did.
Well,
I
it'll be
can't
a
see
5-yard
jersey
mark-off if they accept it. I think they can decline the penalty and take the possession of the football.
That's what I thought, and they did not decline.
That's what it is in college and pros, but I don't. Maybe there's some obscure.
Get Perry on the line. We need to call him.
Yeah, Perry would know. Oh, they say there was an inadvertent whistle. So they're not even going to penalize Central Cabarrus here. They're going to kick it from the 40 again.
That was a great onside kick. If they just wait a half a second
If I'm
longer.
South Rowan, I'm really upset about this. This is a really bad screw up.
Yeah, and if you're Central, if you wait a half a second longer, you get that. It doesn't take the hop this time.
It's loose.
And there is a pile on the ground at the 48.
I don't know who got it, but the one kid was laying and it was on the side of it. He didn't have hands on it. But it looks like the guy behind him grabbed it.
South Rowan comes out with it. At the bottom of the pile in the gold jersey it looks like it's going to be Clapp, who was down there at the bottom.
Could not come up with it.
Tristan Clapp
That
down
one
there.
did take that big, nice hop. Had that big hop on that other one, and
First one was beautiful.
But unfortunately, the man touched it before 10 yards too. If you got to let it go 10, and then you can bat it and swat it and do whatever you want to grab it. But
1:44 left here. You're down 8. You have 2 timeouts left. Have to think it's just run the rock if you're South Rowan here. Try to chew as much clock as possible as they run a man on late.
South Rowan.
And they're going to have to burn their final timeout. South Rowan is here, and that's their final one of the second half. As they were running on a man late there. They didn't have the right personnel. That would be
144. If I'm South Rowan, I'm just taking a knee.
Take a knee. That's
Take
all
a
you
knee
really
and
gotta
punt
do.
it. You're up 9 points. They've got to have 2 scores.
That'd be a great.
Take 40 seconds off 3 times and kick it.
They got 2 timeouts. Central does, so they could take 40 off. They could probably take about 43.
But they've got to score twice. They got to score twice.
Yeah, you could probably get it down to about a minute left in this ball game.
Hickory Ridge has taken the lead over South Iredale going to the fourth quarter. Hickory Ridge 27, South Iredale 26.
I love hearing that. I like Jupiter Wilson. He is
I
a
do
great
too.
person, man. He coaches so much stuff over there, and he gives his heart to everything he does. He's
How
the
many
girls'
people do you
basketball
know
coach,
that coaches girls basketball and varsity football?
and they coach track and
Oh,
field.
does he? Okay,
He
I-
coaches track and field, too. So he does track and field, football, and girls' basketball. Coaches 3 different sports. That man gives everything he's got to that high school, and an awesome person as well. As they run this one with Freeze. Freeze goes right. He's swallowed up in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards there on the first down, and timeout called here.
That doesn't matter. You hang on to the football. You burn those timeouts.
And a timeout for
So
Central.
they've only got one more timeout left. So they can stop it after third down.
And that timeout you had to take early there on that punt, coming out to be costly right now, Mark.
Well, yeah. And I'm not really sure why they took the timeout on. If there were 10 men on the field, I'd have let them punt it to us with 10 on the field. They weren't going to fake it.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, we had 12 on the field. Okay.
Was there?
Well, that's probably a good timeout then.
Yeah, that was a good timeout. I agree with you. I didn't see.
Yeah, you turn the ball over twice inside the red zone. One inside the 5 and
One inside
one at
the
the 18. Two touchdowns on both drives after those 2 turnovers in the first half for South Rowan.
Yeah, they drove the length of the field to do it. Now they got 135 here, leading by 9. And second down and 13. Overcash under center, hands it off, decides to throw it. He tucks it down.
He had no intention of throwing. He's going to slide inbounds.
And he's right there at the line to gain. He's going to be a yard short.
He's too short.
Yeah, he's a couple short. They say he started the slide back at the the 44?
That's a great play call. That's a
was-
great play call.
Timeout call.
Everybody's selling out to get inside, trying to knock the ball free or something.
Quarterback.
And
getting
he's
a little play action.
really got good speed.
Yeah. Play action for the quarterback there, and he just got outside, like you said, and picked up a huge chunk of yards, brings up a third down.
Let that play clock run. Watch that back judge until he starts counting it off. You just don't even go under center.
Yeah, and Coach B decided to not call the timeout here. The hand still not up from the back judge. We wait for it. Now it goes
now
up.
10 seconds.
Now Overcash goes under center. Third down and 4 here, or third down and 3.
Now it's the 5 seconds.
There's the snap. They give to Freeze. Freeze swarmed up in the backfield, and he's stopped. And now the timeout called here from Coach B on the near sideline as the ball's pushed back to the 46 and clock stop with 33 seconds left in the ball game.
So 33 seconds left.
And I'll tell you something, Mark. There's more, and I'm not being mean by saying this. The Monday night game when we were here wasn't quite as many people.
There's a good crowd here tonight compared to Monday.
And
South Rowan brought a good group too. They've got a solid student section across the way as well.
they did, but we can definitely not hear the official tonight. We heard every call that he made on Monday.
I tell you what, I'm not. If I'm South Rowan, I'm not punting this ball.
No, I'm running it.
I'm gonna line it up in that I formation. I'm gonna run a quarterback sweep to the wide side of the field. If I don't make the play, I'm just gonna lay down in bounds, and
I like it. That's
it's gonna turn it. It's you get.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Blocking the punt or running it back is the only way Central Cabarrus really has a realistic chance to win. But they're going to punt it, but I wouldn't punt it at all.
I agree with you. Exactly what you said is exactly what was going through my mind was line up in that power I, fake it, go wide side of the field, which would be right because they're working from right to left. There's the snap. They ran a man on late. They ran a man on late as they punted that one away. Fielding it is James. James catches it left side, runs it upfield, and he's brought down at the 36 with 23 seconds.
And that man, Orion Collins, again, another big tackle. Orion Collins in the fourth quarter has had a career.
He has. He's had a
number 40s. That's a big tackle.
And then he had the big tackle down here at the goal line as well, Orion did. So Orion, big.
You almost have to score on this play to have a chance to win.
See if Rogers can get one aired out here. You see him loosening the shoulders up there in the backfield. So a first down and 10, ball at their own 32. They bring a little bit of pressure, and now they get to him. Rogers rolls to the right, throws, and it's going to be incomplete as he tried to get that to Clay.
Now 16 seconds. From this distance, it's going to take you a minimum of probably 7 seconds to score. A minimum of 7 seconds, I would think.
Yeah, you're looking at 7 here, like you said. That puts you at 9. The onside kick puts you at about 4.
Mount Pleasant's gone up on South Stanley. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. 28-24, Mount Pleasant over South Stanley.
Head coach Daniel Crosby there. As Rogers got time, running out to his right, comes near sideline and runs out of bounds at the 45 with 8 seconds left, and he gets pile drived into the sideline.
Ryan Collins again. That's a borderline call.
And the flag flies.
I don't know if I throw that at all, but he's pushing him as he's getting to the sideline. He's still on the white.
He was on the white, I agree. Now the white hat and the side judge talking about it if they might pick it up.
No, I don't think they'll pick it up, but they'll mark it off. Oh, they're picking it up. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the right call, but,
I agree. You hear the crowds on the home side booing. They don't like the call, but I agree.
If I were Central Cabarrus, I wouldn't like the call, but I think it's the right call.
I agree.
I don't think he should have thrown it to begin with. A little push to make sure he doesn't step up and run down the sideline.
8 seconds left here. 18-27 to score.
It's just a little bit of pride right here so that you can try to.
2 receivers left, 1 right. The man down here at the bottom it looks like it's Chinwall.
Yeah, Chinwall. You got Clay and another receiver out to the wide side.
As Rogers sets the feet and looks deep. Airs one out, and it's going to be picked off from Moore. As the clock hits 000 and Moore is brought down, South Rowan gets their second win of the season and their first win in conference.
27-18. And if you're Central Cabarrus, you look back at those 2 turnovers in the red zone. 2 turnovers in the red zone killed their chances in the first half. 2 touchdowns taken off the board. 2 touchdowns scored by South Rowan. That's a 28-point swing. Or if it's just 6 points, that's 6 and 6 and 6. That's a 24-point swing.
I agree. And if you just would have put some points up, like you said, would have made it a little bit different.
Well, let's give you a quick scoring recap on this one and then final comments before we get out. Central Cabarrus got on the board first. They had a 58-yard drive, a good run by James, a big pass play to Clay, and James capped it off with a 7-yard run. The kick was no good. 6-0, 5:52 left in the first quarter. We go to the second quarter. Central Cabarrus had gotten down inside the 10-yard line, I think even to the 5-yard line, fumbled the ball, picked up by South Rowan. South Rowan drives 95 yards, frees a 6-yard run. Little John with a kick, 7-6, South Rowan, 7:23 left. And then Central Cabarrus drives to the 18-yard line, coughs it up on the handoff, and that gives the ball back to South Rowan. They drive 82 yards. Overcash with a 1-yard run after he threw a nice big post down to the 1-yard line to Moore. 2:20 left in the first half. Little John's kick made it 14-6. Second half, South Rowan extends the lead. Owen Smith, a 5-yard run. On fourth down, the run fails. 20-6, South Rowan leads with 8:30 left in the third quarter. Central Cabarrus battles back. James, 47-yard run. The pass for 2 points failed. 20-12, their score with 10.4 seconds left in the third quarter. Go to the fourth quarter. Overcash to Moore, 41 yards down the left sideline. Little John with a kick. South Rowan 27, Central Cabarrus 12. That's with 4:28 left. Rogers then 6 yards to Chinua after Central Cabarrus with a good kick return and a drive. The run fails, and South Rowan continues to lead 27-18. That's the final score. The game ended with South Rowan picking the ball off on a long pass play from Rogers. Our final score is South Rowan 27, Central Cabarrus 18.
Man, what a heartbreak for the Vikings. It looked like it was the one they had. It could have been their game to win. And
you can't turn the ball over in the red zone.
It just slipped right out of your hand, literally. Like, no pun intended there. Like you said, you can't turn the ball over in the end zone.
And a game of momentum. South Rowan gained momentum. They capitalized on the momentum.
You'd have to think that they left 17 points out there.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
You want to do a quick Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard real quick?
Yeah, let's go. Let's jump on that real quick before we get out of here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I got a couple of them. Independence Garinger final, 68-7. Independence wins that one. A good one between Sun Valley and Cupperson, one of the games we brought up top of the broadcast. 14-13. Sun Valley leads that one. Hickory Ridge is on top and leads. That one 27-26 over South Iredale in the fourth quarter. Concord leads 17-3 over Carson fourth quarter. Northwest trailing West Rowan, but they're back in it now, only down 7, 21-14. West Charlotte, all West Charlotte for that sake, 47-0 over Hopewell. A.L. Brown leads 14-7. Butler leads 46-0 over East Meck. Charlotte Catholic leading Rocky River 28-0.
The last score we had from J.M. Robinson 76, East Rowan nothing. That was going to the fourth quarter.
Mooresville 18, Providence 6. That's in the fourth quarter. Mallard Creek rolling North Meck right now, 49-7, fourth quarter in that one.
Got a close one. The last update we have, Mike London from Salisbury Post gives us this one. The West Rowan Falcons have the ball. 6:22 left after a fumble. They lead 21-14, and they're at the Northwest Cabarrus 35-yard line. Again, that's in the fourth quarter, a one-score game between West Rowan and Northwest Cabarrus.
Battle of unbeatens in two powerhouse, Crest and South Point, 18-12, third quarter there, so a good matchup between those. Statesville leads Ford 14-0 in the third. I'm on scroll mode right now. Again, 3:04 left in the third quarter. This is about 6 minutes ago when this was posted by Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant 28, South Stanley 24. Again, that's with 3:04 left in the third quarter. Union Academy and North Stanley tied at 7, third quarter there. Salisbury well in control in the fourth quarter, 57-0 over South Davidson. Get on Twitter and look and see what I can find, and that's all I got.
Earlier today, Mount Pleasant Athletics tweeted, flag football season starts tomorrow. Come out and support the girls as they compete at Hickory Ridge. That's an upcoming game. Those were very popular last year. Those games, those flag football games.
Flag football is fun.
That looks like most of the scores that we've got coming in here on our Cannon Pharmacy scoreboard. CannonPharmacies.com, home of free delivery, of course, sponsoring our scoreboard. Take us through our sponsors one more time before we get out of here. The final score here, South Rowan 27 and Central Cabarrus 18.
We want to remind you tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by BenMinute.com, the proud sponsor of our halftime show. Your hometown drugstore, Cannon Pharmacy, proud sponsor of the scoreboard. Wilkinson Funeral Home, proud sponsor of high school athletics. The Carolina Pizza Hut, proud sponsor of the Red Zone. The Cabarrus County newspaper, the Independent Tribune. The Cabarrus County Fair. the Carolina Renaissance Festival, and the Southern Christmas Show, all proud sponsors here of us at 485 Sports and High School Athletics.
Got one more score coming in. We've got announcers over there, too. You could have heard John Von Cannon and Chris Hudson on the NFHS Network from Robert C. Bailey Stadium. It was Concord 24, Jesse Carson 3 as the Spiders get a South Piedmont Conference win.
We got to see the Spiders last week.
Last week. Actually, Monday, right here right here at Central Cabarrus.
It's been a long week. See,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
it was already Friday. It's been a long week for me. But, yeah, like you said, we saw them Monday night right here at Central Cabarrus. So, this game, it didn't really disappoint. Like I said, it's not the most powerhouse schools that we thought of, but they put on a good show.
Yeah, good effort on both teams. There was no lack of effort, certainly, on this. Central Cabarrus with 3 turnovers today, 2 in the – well, actually, all 3 were in the red zone.
Yep.
The one pass play was a Hail Mary at the end that was picked off inside the red zone. But the previous 2 turned into long drives for South Rowan for touchdowns, big swings there, and South Rowan building that 27-12 lead. Central Cabarrus coming back, getting a touchdown late, trying to make it competitive, but not having enough here on homecoming. Homecoming for Central Cabarrus, the junior princess, Miss Sydney Austin. The junior prince was Lucas Rogers, the quarterback. The senior queen, Miss Kamari Ustit. Ustit. And the senior king is Kristen Clapp. Clapp had a really good first half.
He did.
Got dinged up a little bit in the second half, came off the field. But, again, that's your kings, queens, and princes for Central Cabarrus here tonight.
And your prince and king, both of them, football players.
Yep. Any further comments before we get out of here today?
My final thoughts are just going to be quick. You've learned what you got if you're Coach B. You learn that you can really rely on those legs of James as a running back and run the rock. You learn your offensive line can get that penetration and push them up front a lot. You've learned where that's from. Nothing against Rogers at all. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. You've also learned that Rogers can throw the ball. And you've also learned what you got to work on. Holding on to the football. You need to figure out how to hold on to the football a little bit better. We just talking here said there's a potential that they left 17 points up there on the board. So for the upcoming games, you know what you got to work on in practice next week, holding on to the football and just get some passes down the field with that quarterback. That's my final thoughts.
Well, the final score here has been South Rowan 27, Central Cabarrus 18. For James Red Mellick, I'm Mark Plemons. You've been listening to high school football on the NFHS Network as well as Radio Free Cabarrus 485 Sports. And again, be sure and thank our sponsors for allowing us to bring you these games. We couldn't do it without their help, but certainly love what we're doing. Good night, everybody.